We are live.
Woo!
It's that time once more where we reflect on a time of family and togetherness in this festive time of the year. It's also where we look back at the offerings at the box office and reminisce in what we enjoyed and question heavily why some people are still allowed to make certain movies. Et tu, Michael Bay? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 7th annual end-of-year panel from Real Features. I am your master of ceremonies, a veteran movie reviewer, and the voice of Nightwatch, MJ Knight. And making her first end-of-year panel appearance, the First Lady of Awesome, Lydia.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Let's rip up the movies.
The snarky yet ever so lovable, the resident Lena Inverse of Sunday Night Live, Win the Rogue.
Oh, hi!
And the forthright, cybernetic, energetic Raiden.
Get ready to enjoy and splander at the same time.
We have Kaiju Noir listed to be attending this evening, but it's simply going to be a case of he'll get here when he gets here. Let's just leave it at that. Now, up for first reviewing for this evening, Underworld 5 Blood Wars. Oh, sweet merciful crap.
That bad?
It was bad.
It's been 5 years since the fourth installment in Awakening, and the vibe I got from the impression is that they were getting to the point of running out of ideas and the need to care for this franchise, as Kate Beckinsale pretty much phoned this performance in. Charles Dance and Theo James seem to be the only ones that gave a damn in their performances as Thomas and David, respectively. The CG is laughable, with Marius being a discount Lucian turning into a Hulk-sized hybrid of vampire and Lycan that looked no better than that of graphics. Plus, the sound mix is so off in places where you can barely hear the actors' dialogue. In short, not a great start to the year, nor a decent addition to this long-existing movie series. Raiden, do what you must.
Well, you said the movie was like, I mean, the franchise itself didn't have a movie since, I'm gonna say 2012, because that's the last.
Yeah, that was Awakening.
I didn't like Awakening, and with this movie, it did not deliver. I mean, for the past two that had Kate Beckinsale, the thing that was really good about the movie was the soundtrack and the action scenes. With this movie, it was not. It did not deliver, and it really didn't deliver. So, not to mention everything's phoned in. Every action scene is like trying to be cool, but in the end, it was just a.
Yeah.
Let's just say it's the equivalent of any gaming company trying to be edgy, but in the end, well, with mostly, I don't know the word, just half-assing it. That's the word. Just half-assing it. That's what I think about the whole movie, half-assing it.
Lydia, did you see Blood Wars?
I did.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, another Underworld movie. My question is, why is this a film franchise? The first film was... Oh, I love the first film. The second one was... And however, all of these movies just serve to let us see what Kate Beckinsale looks like in a tight leather catsuit. To be fair, she looks hot. But all in all, this was awful. There was just nothing but... Why? This is just an exhausting film series. The action scenes were all over the place. The creatures are CGI monstrosities. And this has to be the bluest film I've ever seen.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, it was so blue.
Yeah, this franchise needs to be taken out back and shot like Old Yeller.
Ew!
Damn.
Oh,
Let Beckinsale,
hi.
Damn, girl!
yeah. Well, let's just say a lot of films get that treatment, but yeah, that one needs to go out back.
Well, that's a damn shame. I loved that franchise. I'm kind of disappointed that it was that bad.
Yeah, they went downhill after like the second movie.
Yeah, my mom loved that franchise. And in Beckinsale's case, by sounds of things, it sounds like she got what many celebrities do down the road. And that's franchise fatigue. When you get typecast as the same role over and over, you either respond to it well, like Mark Hamill, who still has fun with his roles, or you just kind of tap out at maybe a franchise prior.
Yeah. All right. I think we can conclude everyone's seen, well, everyone, but Win has seen that one. Next up, Lego Batman the movie.
Shit, I should have rented that.
Yeah,
This-
it's a good movie.
This is easily a top contender for movie of the year, with this being a roast of the character, with this being a parody version of Bats, where he's basically a narcissist. So imagine if Tony Stark was being Batman, but turning the volume way up. I enjoyed several references to various mediums of Batman from the Adam West series. By the way, Adam West, R.I.P. We miss you.
Miss you, bro.
The
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Keaton years, the best years, and even the legendary Batman the Animated Series. It's well written, with Will Arnett just stealing the show as the titular character. The formula is somewhat predictable, where a vain character becomes humbled and learns to accept that he does need people in order to succeed on occasion. But it's done in a way that it's still entertaining, especially with the notion that there's this implied bromance between Bats and Joker. People, this is fan fiction we do not need.
Why won't you accept my love, Batsy?
Joker, I've told you this before. I have Catwoman, you have Harley. No, me and Harley are on downtime again.
She kind of left me for Poison Ivy again.
Besides, what about that thing of you and Robin? That's never been documented and you can't prove anything. All those are listening, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, God, why?
Lydia,
The ambiguous duo.
Lydia, your thoughts?
Okay, all right. When Lego Batman is more likable than Batfleck, you know you have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
A fun, flashy film that does what good kids' films should, not treat children like idiots. The humor is, in some cases, clever. Nowhere was I not in stitches. And it also kind of explores a little bit of Batman's less than charming qualities. He's a loner. He's kind of arrogant at times that only he can do things by himself. Cast is good, especially Will Arnett. He is a great Batman. And the premise is good. Not bad for spinning off from the Lego movie. Good job.
The two moments where I kind of rolled my eyes at or did a rock eyebrow is number one, where Robin modifies his costume to where he's wearing the hot pants version, which I'm like, oh no, creepy flashbacks, no!
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw that screenshot for Robin, I was all, wait, are they doing a nod to Carrie Kelly from the Dark Knight graphic novels? Because I don't recall Dick Grayson having brown or red hair.
Oh, I didn't think about that. And, you know,
And the glasses lenses. That's also what threw me off.
Yeah.
The thing that, whilst I was appreciative of this particular reference, yet at the same time I kind of cringed, is when they were trying to find a theme tune for Robin, and they landed on Wham's "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go." I'm like, oh no, no.
Oh God, I was dying at that point.
Jitterbug.
Wake me up before you go.
Damn right. Raiden, did you see this one?
I heard it was pretty good.
Give it a rental, my friend. Trust me, you'll be laughing yourself into the point where it's like, okay, I need the oxygen tank now.
Yeah, I like when films do that, when you uncontrollable laughter and you can't stop.
When did you see this one?
No, sadly. I wanted to go see it with my nephew when it came out in theaters, but a family emergency had come up, so we didn't really get to go see it. And when it came on DVD, I just had a super huge workload, so I didn't really have time to go and grab it. And it kind of didn't cross my mind when I did rent the movies I did yesterday for the panel.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
it kind of doesn't help that when you live in a small town, the movie theater you have shows only one movie every 2 weeks.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's the downside to a small town. I really should get my license so I can at least see more movies by going off the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Walker and Florgo has just said in the comment section, saw it and loved it, and doing multiple flips. Okay, I'm not sure entirely what you're relating to there, dude, but okay. Okay, this one up next is kind of where I decided to step out of my comfort zone a little bit, and this had been plastered across social media for a good while, and plus, it's Michael Keaton. What's not to like?
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
I was intrigued by the idea of this movie from the first trailer, where we're told the little less than known story of how McDonald's came to be. You could not get better casting from Michael Keaton, easily turning in an Oscar performance, which, by the way, Academy Awards, where's his Oscar for this movie? As Ray Kroc to Nick Offerman and John Carroll Lynch as the McDonald brothers, who essentially get screwed out of the business they built from the ground up. Little known fact, the handshake agreement with the royalties they were supposed to have gotten, if Ray Kroc had actually delivered up on his promise, those royalties would be worth $100 million each year to the McDonald's family.
Jesus.
Yep. Despite this flick having a modest budget of $7 million, it has a real high production value from sets, wardrobe, and a real sense that you're in the 1950s. Also, the duet of Pennies from Heaven by Linda Cardellini and Michael Keaton is actually charming, as there's genuine chemistry in song and set with them, and Michael Keaton can sing. Who knew bats could sing? So, if you happen to see The Founder, whether it's on Netflix or even if it's in the bargain bin for like $2 to $3, trust me when I tell you, you're going to be entertained, but also have your mind blown at the same time, because there's a lot of stuff about the story of McDonald's that not too many people know, and the truth is in this movie. Am I to presume that no one else saw this movie?
I wanted to, but I didn't. Sorry.
I honestly did not know it exists, since I don't really watch television very often, so I don't see as many movie previews.
Well, they purposely delayed this one till December of last year, so this would get into Oscar nomination season. And in all honesty, the performance that Keaton puts in, because he was made to go to McDonald's school and actually study all these archive clips of Ray Kroc to get his accent, his mannerisms, the way he would clip in his voice, and just the general replication of what he tried to do in order to pull the role off, because he was the founding member of the McDonald's Corporation. You know, Maurice and Richard McDonald were the ones who started the business off as, originally they started off as a hot dog stand, but then they wanted to turn it into something a little bit more upmarket. And they were, the McDonald's they have on San Bernardino, which was known as McDonald's Number One, they actually built all of their kitchen equipment custom from scratch, just so that they could have the speedy system whereby you get your burgers, fries, and drink within 30 seconds after paying for it. They were the first ones to do that in the 1940s. No one else was doing that at the time. All right. On to the next one. Logan.
Oh, God.
It came down to this. After 17 years of the adamantium-clad mutant, Hugh Jackman bowed out in a swan song that I doubt will be replicated for some time as his last outing as Wolverine. It's very humbling to see the once invincible feral-like superhero to be reduced to a man that's no longer at the top of his game, and that age has caught up with him despite the age-defying properties of his metal skeleton. What we see with Hugh Jackman is Logan at the end of his life with one last fight to give in order to save his biological daughter in X-23, played by Daphne Keane, whom I might add has a bright future in Hollywood, especially the performance she turns in with this movie. Raiden, go for it.
When you hear Johnny Cash hurt on the trailer, you knew it was the last dance between Hugh Jackman and the character itself. And with this movie, yeah, it was a superhero movie, but it felt like more of a Western. It's like it was more like this is Logan's last shot to do something great before he goes out. And every performance definitely delivered. And the end, oh my God! After watching the Wolverine and having Yukio, that was her name, right?
Yeah, Yukio.
Okay. Yukio, just predicting his death and just seeing in the forefront, you know, you come full circle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this was definitely one of my favorite superhero movies. Listening, check it out. You'll have fun, and I don't know, you'll probably shed a tear or two. So great movie.
Alrighty. Lydia.
Okay. This is an end of an era. Not just that it's the last time we'll see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but we'll also see the last time we'll see the Sir Patrick Stewart as Professor X. This movie is one word: a masterpiece.
Yep.
When I heard that this film was going to be rated R, I was worried. I had concerns because I thought it was just going to be unnecessary swearing and boobs. Although we did see some boobs in the movie,
but it was so fleeting. It was like they were there and then they weren't.
Yeah, exactly. But when I thought about it, the R rating was perfect for Logan because of as much as it was for Deadpool. The fight scenes were brutal and amazing, well choreographed. It showed the viciousness of Logan, but also his clone daughter, X-23. This movie was a freaking soul-crushing film because we're not only seeing the disintegration of Professor X's mind, we're also seeing the disintegration of his hope and dream that mutants and humans can coexist. Because there are no mutants left, besides the few pockets that are left and the clones that were created in a lab. It's the end of mutant kind. Everyone did well in their performance, notwithstanding Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart. They were fantastic, but that goes without saying. MJ, Daphne Keane. She has a freaking bright future ahead of her, and I can't wait to see what she does next. And this movie, actually, this is one of the few films that I openly wept at the end. I cried because Logan's death was hard to watch because we've seen him throughout the 17 years of him as this invincible superhero. And just watching him die it was heart-wrenching. But knowing that there's hope that his legacy will be carried on with Laura, that's what a good film should do. And I can't say anything else other than that. This was a fantastic film.
When did you see this one?
Only a small bit when it came to DVD, because my nephew had rented it. I was doing some stuff in the house, but the little that I've seen, I can definitely agree. It's definitely a fine mix of what an X-Men movie would be in the perspective of kind of that spaghetti western.
All right.
Kind of gritty, gut-wrenching at times, and it's just sad to see Hugh Jackman go as Wolverine, but at the same time, he at least went out with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just looking in the chat section real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually being joined by an esteemed member from the YouTube community. If you ever look up in the YouTube section for Toby One, he's one of the best GTA custom car models ever, and was also the guy who did the first decent proper intro for Nightwatch. In this chat section, ladies and gentlemen, Toby One, and to my understanding, he's also working on the official fan Knight Rider game as well. Very talented guy.
Oh, very nice.
And little funny story, just to get a little sidetracked a moment. So many moons ago, when Nightwatch was just getting started, referring to the modern KITT, the Mustang, as I thought, okay, it's KITT and it's a Mustang, so it's a KITT Stang. And I thought no more about it. 2 to 3 weeks later, I look in my update section in the emails, and it says on the video, riding around in the KITT Stang, which Toby One produced, and I'm like, what did I do? I wasn't expecting. Yeah, and he also did a mod of a fan character I created years ago, which is a 2005 Ford Mustang known as Delia, which stands for the Divine, Elegant, Logical, Intelligent Automobile. And just for context, folks, I came up with the idea of a Mustang for Knight Rider long before NBC did. They did that in 2008. I did it in 2005.
Wow.
I rest my case. And if I was able to get a voice for Delia, it would have been Veronica Taylor, just doing a slightly more monotone version of her Amelia voice.
I see it.
So that would have been intriguing.
And ironically, Ash's mom is named Delia, who she also voices.
Damn!
Oh, God, you're right.
Yeah, she voiced
Hey.
both Delia and
I
Ash
know.
Ketchum.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Now, Duran Garber, who was originally going to be part of this panel, who has been part of the end-of-year panel since 2011, was unable to attend this evening due to IRL commitments. He had requested the movie It, the 2017 variation, but as we know, Win had seen us as well, so you go ahead and give your 2 cents, because I have not actually seen this, so I've got no notes for it, but you go ahead.
Yay! I actually get to throw in my 2 cents and half-ass contribute. All right, let's see here. For the movie It, I have to say Alexander Skarsgård's brother did a really good job as Pennywise. Mind you, my personal bias will always show that Tim Curry will have that special little place in my heart, but his acting performance was spot on, really well done. The kid actors were actually really good, which is kind of rare in Hollywood to find child actors that pull their roles off really well. The story had a lot of nods to the original 2-part TV movie, with the whole blood in the bathroom scene, with Georgie's sad and tragic demise, except the arm biting scene wasn't as graphic as the current one, but 2017, there's going to be more gore compared to a 90s franchise. Let's see. I honestly don't know what much else to say except that you should take a look at this movie. It's really well done. You should also, if you can find it on Amazon, get the original 2 parts, see which one you like best, and definitely read the book because Stephen King is a phenomenal and very talented writer and an awesome guy too. Last year he donated some money so everyone in Maine would have heating because it gets really cold in the winter.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
what's up?
Oh, interesting little thing to note. A little bit of trivia that popped up recently is that the legend has it that Pennywise is supposed to show up every 27 years, and it's been 27 years since the original variation of it.
Oh, dude.
And part 2 is probably in development as we speak because there was 2 parts. The flashback from their childhood and then the reunion as adults.
Yeah, I think it's called Chapter 2 or It Chapter 2. Because this was labeled It Chapter 1, so that would make sense.
Who else saw it?
I did.
Me.
Lydia, you're up.
Okay. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. This was a spine-tingling horror film, which does its best to pay homage to the book as well as the 1990s cult classic miniseries. The change from 1950s to 1980s, from 1950s to 1980s, was a good choice. It wasn't really off-putting. I enjoyed that twist, and the ambiance was fitting to the tone of the film. It's like you can tell it's the 80s, but it's not shoving it in your face like most films that set in the 80s do. The cast is great. The Losers Club were fantastic kid actors. There are obviously standouts like Richie and Eddie. I related to Eddie a little bit, even though he was a little hypochondriac. And seeing like how Beverly was treated, like, good God, that film scared the crap out of me because it showed how much of an abusive asshole her father was. And I'm like, she got away from that dude. And these kids have a long future ahead of them, all of them. Even though some of them got more screen time than others, like Mike and Stan, they got pushed to the back. Like the Nostalgia Critic did in his review, they kind of basically were in the background. But these kids have a bright future. As regards to Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, bravo! This performance was amazing, and I got his mannerisms as Pennywise. They were strange and they were off-putting, but it made sense for the character because this is a demon, an otherworldly god taking disguise and other things, and taking disguise of a clown to scare children because this thing feeds on fear. This was an entertaining movie, and I look forward to Chapter 2.
Radon?
You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too!
Okay.
Oh my God, something moved in my room. Don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Quick history. Let's see. With Pennywise the Clown, I've heard he's the most scariest person known to man. I didn't know about it until like a couple years back. So when I saw a little bit of the first movie, I was like, whoa. there's a reason me and clowns don't have a eye to eye.
Long-standing.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, okay. So with this movie, I was interested, and like you with the Founder, I had to get out of my wheelhouse because I don't do horror movies in theater because I do want to be scared of my nightmares.
Mhm.
And with this movie, I gotta say, I was thoroughly enjoyed. There were a lot of scenes that scared me dearly, especially the scene with the freaking film stuff with the creepy teeth. I'm like, ah!
Oh God, no.
Yeah, that freaked me out a couple times.
The leper scene was the one that got me.
Yeah. With the cast, I really connected with Benny because me and him have a kind of sort of similar upbringing. So seeing him just getting bullied and all that, that took me back. But with the other characters, thoroughly enjoyed it. Personally, my favorite character, Richie. Richie for me is is the MVP of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I just like all the character building, and that the original 80s one did. And I'm hoping like the second part delivers like the first one, because from what I've heard, the second part and the 90s one is the weakest part. So hopes to that. Good movie either way.
Toby Wan's just saying in the comment section, I'd say the young actors did the job ace. I loved how different they all were to team up and kill this freaky clown. So it's pretty much just echoing what you two have said already. Okay. Up next, Power Rangers.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
I'll have to sit this one out because sadly I did not see it.
That's fine. Oh boy, I have really mixed feelings about this 2017 reboot of Teenagers with Attitude that reimagines the beginning Power Rangers. The pacing and tone of this movie is inconsistent in that it takes a while before the movie starts moving at a more fluid rate. I like the idea of the Rangers being made to earn their powers as opposed to just being handed to them in the day of the dumpster 24 years ago. But that said, I find it a little ironic that the morphers are clearly on their suits, and they did have toy morphers made for merchandise, and yet they have to be morphed on what I can only describe as telepads borrowed from Star Trek. The Rangers themselves are what make this feature enjoyable, and the two that stand out the most are Dacker Montgomery as Jason Lee Scott and RJ Kyler as Billy Cranston. RJ is so likable from the word go, and Dacker gives a performance as Jason where he becomes a competent leader after starting out as a somewhat of a stereotypical jock at the beginning. I think Power Rangers has the potential to succeed as a new movie franchise, but it needs to iron out a lot of flaws before it can progress with any potential sequel. Also, the fact that we had to wait for the last 20 minutes for all them to morph and to see the Zord battle is a worrying sign. But it was great to hear that theme song once again. Lydia.
Okay. I like the film, to be perfectly honest. It's like it had its pratfalls, to be honest. Them taking too long to morph. Like I know that they had to earn their powers, but it's like, that's not how that works. But it was a decent film. It's like it might or might not continue as a franchise with all the things I've been hearing. Like the actors were good, especially Elizabeth Banks. She was fun. She was chewing up the scenery as Rita.
Oh, wasn't she just?
She ate more than the donuts she ate.
It's the bit that kind of made me raise an eyebrow when I was seeing this. A place I like to call Warner Village in Cribbs Causeway. She's just, where you see her going, gold, lovely. Goes like, woman, whatever you're taking, please do not give me any. Like, it's like you're on a level of crazy that I don't want to be on. It's like stay in your corner.
Yeah, this was a different take on Rita, but I kind of enjoyed it. I'm hopeful that they get a sequel, but I don't see that happening.
I thought it was an interesting twist by making her the original Green Ranger.
Yeah.
That was different. Raiden, I know
Whether
you're
we'll see.
Raiden, I know you're going to have some interesting thoughts about this movie.
Yeah, I mean, what it does do right was trump the 1995 version, which I can still watch to this day, but it's like it was too cheesy and half of the CGI was kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I see it with this movie, I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed the characters, especially R.J. Styler's Billy. He's basically stole the show. Suit wise, I liked it. It's kind of a mix of the Guyver and
Iron Man.
Yes, that most definitely. But the one thing that I say, what were they thinking? Is the whole Zords itself? I mean, Saban was the one who were part of this movie, and they couldn't see that the original Megazords or Super Sentai, the way they look, they couldn't go with that, with the cool looking Pacific Rim type. I was like very disappointed with that though. And with like half the end parts, I do like that you had to wait for a couple of times to see them become Power Rangers in general. But like half the whole fight was kind of short to begin with. But
yeah,
I'm just hoping for the best for a potential sequel. I'm just really hoping that what they did with this they can improve on. So in closing, I like the movie for what it was. There was a couple things I didn't like, but all in all, still enjoyed it. And Power Rangers theme when I was in theaters, I almost squealed like a little kid.
Same. Gorak is just saying in the comment section, it could be worse. It could have been Power Megaforce.
Oh,
He is not wrong.
Oh, jeez.
The thing I found, and here's the thing. Toby's just asking, has anyone here played the Knight Rider games? Toby, I've seen little bits and pieces of the games from Davalex from 02 and 04 respectively. I've not heard anything good about it. I'm just going to leave it at that. The things that struck me about this version of Kimberly, number one, Naomi Scott may as well be Amy Jo Johnson young again, because when I saw her the first face shot, I'm like my gosh, you are Kimberly. But the other thing that kind of threw me off, which Amy Jo's Kimberly wouldn't have done this, she did revenge sex, which I thought, okay, I get we're trying to be socially relevant and up to date, but that's not what Kimberly Hart would do.
nope.
Remember, this is still a kids thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing I do give them a lot of credibility for, and having the sense to not repeat this mistake twice, is this time they switched the colors around for Billy, Zach, and Trini, because they remembered the mistakes of the first season by making Zach the Black Ranger, Trini the yellow, and it's just like, oh, guys, you really didn't need to do that. It's just, ew, no. There's no need to go there. So by switching things around this time where...
Especially when I heard in the original pilot.
Go on.
No, it's because I heard in the original pilot that Trini was actually like played by a interracial girl.
Oh yeah, she was played by Audrey Dubois. And to be honest, I liked her. I thought she was all right.
Yeah.
But that said, we got Twee, and I remember a couple of times in the last few years going back to watch bits and pieces of the first season. You kind of forget that just how calm and collected Twee was, but also just how gorgeous she was.
Oh yeah.
Such a shame she's no longer with us.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Really sad.
it is a reminder when they say put your seatbelt on, do it. Just do it. But yeah, like I say, I think they made the smart choice this time around by switching uniforms for the Rangers, because, like I say, they don't want to repeat that mistake same time around, because they got criticized heavily for
Yeah,
that.
I remember that.
You know, when you make an American Korean actress, which is what Twee was, it's okay, Firebird. It's all right. It's all good. When you make a Korean American actress be designated the Yellow Ranger, it's like, guys, that's not cool. And the same thing with making Walter Jones be designated being the Black Ranger. Even he said in interviews, "What's up with that?" You know, it's like, you know, you don't need to do that. That's just it's.
I just kind of figured it wasn't
Right.
intentional.
I think it's one of those things when you're.
Because it was the 90s and we were still kind of developing in the self-awareness department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pretty much just said it. I mean, when you're a pre-double digit or a pre-teen, it kind of flies over your head. Then you look back at it years later and you're like, oh, so not cool. That would be like, let's just say for the sake of discussion, if they decided to retcon the series and decided to make the Green Rangers to be from Ireland, you think, oh, no, bad idea. Oh, and also whilst we're here, and this is what the cast have actually said, if they ever get to a sequel, they actually want to make Tommy Oliver female.
That would... I don't know. Depending on how that'd be handled, it would be an interesting twist. It could either turn out the way Pidge did in Voltron Legendary Defender, or it can turn out many disasters that is some of the current Marvel comics. I don't reference one because there have been many mistakes. There are some that have been hit, but there have been some that are miss, and in this case, I'm referencing the ones that were a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Firebird's just saying in the chat, MJ, I know I couldn't attend, but I do have to do this joke. Imagine if Rita's character first line was not what it was in the show, but it was the following. 10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. Here's what I...
Repulsa, voiced by Robin Williams.
Here's what I got to say with regards to the idea of changing Thomas Oliver to Thomasina Oliver. If the Green Ranger was a brand new character specifically for this movie series, then go nuts. Because it'd be a brand new character that's not being messed with any previous continuity, then fine, have at it. But Tommy Oliver, and by extension Jason David Frank, is Power Rangers. He's quite possibly the most recognized Ranger with
Yeah.
Austin St. John coming in a very, very close second. I don't know if Green Ranger and Tommy Oliver were like not a very well remembered character or just like a background character, and they changed the gender, then you could probably look the other way because it's not such a strong established character. But because the Green Ranger is so deep in Power Rangers lore, you're going to end up provoking a hornet's nest. I mean, we've seen what happens when you go provoking something you don't want to provoke, lest we forget Feig Busters.
Ugh.
Less said about that, the better.
Yes. And I know you've said this so many times, Raider, but it's like, Paul Feig, here's this L.
Take it. Staple it on your head.
Just stick with rom-coms, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Firebird saying, I had the impression back then that Jason David Frank was a guest star on the show at the time. That's to do with the fact that Power Rangers was going off of what they were given via Zyuranger, because Burai was killed off originally in that series. But because of the popularity of the Green Ranger and Tommy respectively from Power Rangers, they actually contacted the studio that did Zyuranger to make footage exclusively for Power Rangers, so that way they could have the Green Ranger brought back in, because Jason David Frank was that beloved and still is. Lydia, I think you saw Power Rangers as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Go ahead.
I think I already gave my thoughts.
Oh, did you? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no, it's
And
cool.
Wynn sat that one out because she didn't see it.
Yeah, I was kind of on the fence on that one, so indecision kind of did me in.
All right.
Especially
now-
since I was a huge fangirl of the franchise since I was 8.
Same here.
Up next, Ghost in the Shell.
Ugh.
This
Oh
is-
god.
This is where I'm split with this. On the one hand, the cinematography was decent, a lot of nice callbacks to the original 96 anime movie from Togaso's Monteber handgun, the Major and Bato having an exchange on her boat to the opening scene where the Major goes into action with a thermoptic camouflage suit. Now, here's where I'm critical. Scarlett Johansson, despite trying, does come across as devoid of emotion. But considering the original movie didn't show the Major sporting too much charisma aids, Scarlett aids Scarlett here, since she's not known for having too much of that in her roles anyhow. Also sporting Perma B face as usual. For those in the know, you know what I'm talking about.
As I said, the only exception that I could think of is maybe when she was in The Prestige.
Ah. And I hope I'm pronouncing this actor's name correctly. And Pilau Asbake was horribly miscast as Bato. He just had no charisma to speak of. Visually, he looked very much the part, but he just had no charm. He certainly didn't have the charm of the original speaking voice actor Richard Epcar's charisma when he voiced him then and in Standalone Complex. And sir, if you're listening, hope you're having a good evening. Because I'm actually friends with him on Facebook.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Dude, that's cool.
As an aspiring voice actress, I approve.
In the
I
8
loved you as my Otis Mon.
In the 8 months since this film, because I actually saw this movie the day after Undertaker retired. Oof.
That must have been fun.
Yeah.
Ouch.
As much as I wanted to give this film a chance, and for the most part it's entertaining, it's nothing more than a rehash of the original anime film. It joins the list of Hollywood adaptations not studying the source material thoroughly enough.
Yeah.
Raiden, I know you want to slander this movie by the tone in your voice, so go ahead.
Do it.
Release the hounds.
Well, thank God I didn't watch the movie, but I just want to get this off my chest. Hollywood, stop fucking up anime movies. Why must you do this? Do you get a sick pleasure of just messing up anything that doesn't have anything to do with the anime and manga itself? Are you proud of yourselves? I know you are, because you're gonna keep doing the same shit over and over and over and over again until you make bank. But guess what?
Yeah.
Fans everywhere don't like this movie. I don't know. Maybe a casual watcher might like this movie. Who cares? You're making that money, but still, you mess with the craft, you're gonna get slandered. Either way, either how. I'm like, okay, Scarlett Johansson looking like the Major looks cool, but from what I heard, emotion she did not have.
No, she didn't.
Oh my god! I don't know what. I don't know why is it so hard to just go for the book and research. Like, be like James Mangold who did the Wolverine and Logan.
Yeah.
And those were actually great comic films.
Yep.
I just don't
Yeah.
get it. Why? Just hold on. Hold.
Uh-oh.
No, Kitty.
Where's it?
Uh-oh. Yeah. Daniel
There he is.
Bryan.
Kitty. No, Navi.
And that's
Okay.
all I gotta say. So the rest, go nuts.
Lydia.
Ooh. I think Raiden pretty much summed up a little bit of what I was going to say, but here's another example of why Hollywood shouldn't adapt anime. From Dragon Ball Evolution to Death Note. They need to stop.
Yeah.
The whitewash, that bothered me. I like Scarlett Johansson as an actress, but no, you do not do that to a character that looks obviously is an Asian descent. You don't do that. No. This film, fine, it was visually appealing, but this shouldn't exist. They need to stop with the stupid fucking up of my anime. And if they so much as think about adapting Sailor Moon, I'm going to rip somebody to pieces. That's my shit. That is all.
Knowing our luck, Sailor Moon will end up getting played by Megan Fox.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood now.
God no.
Oh, did you know? I actually looked this up online. She was pretty close to being Sailor Moon. I'm not even kidding.
Whoa!
Yeah, that almost happened.
I thought someone was trolling.
No, that was in
Also,
development. Back, and thank God.
Also,
for that.
Navi's meowing in the background and does not approve.
Well, she's a smart cat because, good God, if they did that, I would
And
kill
she's trying to beat up the cursor on my monitor.
Although interesting.
Guess hearing about that pissed her off.
Although interesting thing, until they settled on, I forget who they've gotten to play Captain Marvel. They were actually thinking about Chloe Moretz playing her, which I could have seen that working. She's a capable enough actress.
Yeah.
And she was badass as Hit Girl.
Oh, that she was.
Oh, she was.
I just got a message for Kaiju. He should be on his way. He actually overslept, but it is the early hours of the morning in Japan, so we gotta give him that leeway.
I figured.
No worries. You guys kind of gave me leeway when I couldn't make it to the preview panel. Ouch.
Yeah.
Sorry, Navi bit me. She thinks my hand is a chew toy. Kitty. Where's your squeaky mouse? I'm gonna find your squeaky mouse. And you poor bastards have to put up with me constantly getting cat aggro.
I'll just. He's joining us now.
Okay, cool.
To be fair, he was late coming to the panel last year, so it's no big thing.
Fair enough.
Stephen Walker's saying in the comment section, not able to make it due to work at midnight, but can comment on the live stream. That's awesome, dude.
Cool. All right.
All right. Here he is.
Hey!
What is up, Kaiju?
Hey everybody, sorry I'm late. I had my alarm set for 4:30 in the morning, but for whatever reason it didn't went off as I planned.
We missed hearing you, buddy.
Now, dude, you're here now.
All right then, I appreciate it, guys.
Swing, I miss hearing your voice.
All right.
Thanks, it means a lot.
I'll just go through the ones that you did actually see this year. Lego Batman, your 2 cents.
Okay, luckily I spent all night making up my summaries. All right. Coming off the heels of the surprisingly well-made Lego movie, I had high hopes for their follow-up. Luckily, the humor was once again spot on and was always throwing something new at you from every angle. Much like the last time, this version of Batman is a well-made parody of the overzealous fandom of the Caped Crusader. Much like the fans, this version of Batman believes himself to be the greatest hero ever because he is perfect in every way. However, as the movie progresses, we learn that it's not just the gadgets, the money, nor the cape and cowl that makes Batman such an iconic character, but it's his family, as we get to explore the connections he has to Alfred, Batgirl, and especially his young ward, Robin. Much like the Lego movie with its deconstruction of the cliche Chosen One storyline, this film opts to satirize the lonely rich man who thinks he has everything he needs, when in reality, he feels pretty empty inside. This premise, along with the insane amount of fan service, which pays homage to practically every era of Batman, and then some, makes for a hilarious experience that's sure to please fans of both the character and the first Lego movie alike.
Nice.
He's outdone me again already.
Yeah, son. Awesome.
Well, damn.
I like how when he comes back to the Batcave, he goes, "What is the password? Iron Man sucks." Your thoughts on Logan?
Let's see. Having only a passing knowledge of the Old Man Logan source material and a good idea of the ups and downs of the X-Men movie franchise, I honestly had no idea what Fox had in store for what was advertised as Hugh Jackman's swan song for the series. Given that I am a fan of dark, gritty stories where broken characters are forced to confront their inner demons and put up one last fight, this movie constantly had me on the edge of my seat. Both Jackman and Patrick Stewart give it their all here in some of the most tear-jerking scenes I've seen in a while. When it came to Laura, aka X-23, Daphne Keane surprised me quite a bit with how well she was able to pull off her character, especially at such a young age, relying mostly on body language. My one gripe with the film would be the villains themselves, as they came off as generic evil government agents who were merely there to drive the plot forward and act as a constant threat for Logan and his gang to run away from. Up until now, I completely forgot what they even looked like, or what powers they had. Along with also the decision for the final battle, as violent and bloody as it was, felt like the writers were creatively bankrupt. I won't go into spoilers, though, for that part. Still, the heart of the movie is solely focused on Logan's path to redemption, and for that, this movie succeeds all the way. I just hope the stylized black and white noir version of the movie is just as good as people say it is.
I've actually got that. I need to get around to looking at that.
Was that ever included with like the Blu-ray release?
I think so.
Okay, we never got that version in Japan.
All right.
When it came to theaters.
Hang on, Nabby.
Let's hear it. Your 2 cents on Power Rangers.
Oh boy, where to start? Well, first things first, I applaud Saban for at least attempting to put together a Power Rangers movie that tried to take itself seriously. Now, when I say seriously, I don't mean the filmmakers taking the movie in a dark direction, but rather I mean that the filmmakers were able to take their job seriously in crafting a movie with a goofy concept while making the audience feel invested in its characters, like any other good superhero movie. For too long, people tend to see the entirety of Power Rangers as just the campy, goofy, and badly aged Mighty Morphin era, when in reality, there have been plenty of genuinely good seasons of Power Rangers that most people overlook simply because it's not the first team. Now, when it comes to the movie, in execution, however, the film had a lot of problems. As much as I liked the actors chosen for the films, especially when it came to the five Rangers themselves, each of their personal stories stylistically clashed with the third act of the movie due to the decision of shoving all the major action sequences towards the last 30-20 minutes of the film. I feel like it would have been less jarring had the superhero elements of Power Rangers been more spread out, especially in the second act where we could have gotten a Rita or Putty fight scene as opposed to having cheap, unmorphed training sessions. Though, this was probably due to the relatively low budget of the film, especially for an action movie, and the fact that Lionsgate isn't all that well known for making giant summer blockbuster action fests. Another issue I had was with Elizabeth Banks as Rita, as her hammy lines and scene-chewing performance was another stylistic clash that made her seem like she popped out of a completely different film. This is especially noticeable when you can notice how down-to-earth Bryan Cranston's Zordon feels in comparison. Finally, I absolutely hated the artistic direction of the film. Everything from the suits to the Zords to Alpha 5, and especially the bland-looking Megazord, all look downright ugly to me. For a movie based on a property which was also based on a highly imaginative Japanese franchise that had so many wonderful and imaginative designs, I was very disappointed, especially as a giant robot fan myself. The Power Rangers film the Power Rangers film could have been something unique and special, like it had been for the last 25 years on television, but sadly the film is bogged down by creative decisions from people who probably wanted to capture elements from other popular movie franchises rather than what made the teenagers with attitudes so iconic in the first place.
One particular problem I had with the Megazords, particularly with the way the cockpits were set up, I'm like, you guys are so stealing from Voltron, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, and I am a big fan of both
And
of those
legs.
mediums. I'm like, yeah, just had to jog on Voltron style.
And I'll form the head.
I really don't understand why they have a cockpit. I really don't.
What was also very cheap is that when this is me going off script here. When I first saw the design of the Megazord, I thought, how the heck are the individual Zords themselves supposed to come together to form this smooth humanoid thing? And then
I'm like, that worked.
like I
Which
thought
one was
that
better,
it's
the
like
90s version or this version?
Daijujin all the way, man, from the
Right.
original Jew Ranger design. Like it's also very cheap because I would think that because of how the Megazord itself looked nothing like the individual components of the Zords themselves. I was figuring that they were going to just mesh together like the evil robots from Transformers 4. But then when you see the movie itself, they actually do try to physically change into the Megazord, and then they copped out by having a big explosion and poof, they're already like that. I'm like, no, you can't do that. You already tried to physically change together. You can do both.
I mean, as abysmal as the Turbo Power Rangers movie, at least the Megazord transformation scene was 10 times better than 1995 Power Rangers movie.
Oh yeah, and they did stuck to suits and tried to make it as cinematically visually interesting as they could with practical suits and have the right kind of lighting and angles and camera work that you would expect, like from out of the Sentai source material.
Right.
Alrighty. We've already done Ghost in the Shell. I don't think you saw that one, did you, Kaiju?
Right. I never got around to seeing that film.
Yeah,
Good.
we've already covered, we've already covered it.
More like slander. Slandered it.
Next up, Fast 8.
Oh, here we go.
The first entry in the Fast and Furious franchise since the sad passing of Paul Walker, and you can tell that his absence is heavily felt, as this movie, while entertaining, doesn't carry the same weight that the previous movies held. And you can tell they're running low on ideas and also jumping the wrecks when the cars are now traveling through ice fields in order to outrun a submarine. And apparently they want the next movie with them in outer space. I'm okay with it, but that's a stretch for me. The acting is fine. I really couldn't find anyone turning in a poor performance. Charlize Theron really sells it as this stone-cold hacker that has no scruples in justifying the end to her means as a hacker and a thief. Finn does his best to try and shoulder the load of the movie in the absence of Paul. But even then, even he can only do so much, as Paul was his go-to to feed a report off of. There are good exchanges with him and The Rock, but even they can only use that so often. CG was a little too fake in some of the New York scenes. When you've been watching movies for as long as I have, you learn to have trained eyes when you're able to spot these nuances where you can tell the visual effects haven't been polished enough. It saddens me that visual effects from the original Jurassic Park movie look more photorealistic 24 years ago, and when visual effects has said quarter of a century to sharpen their techniques, and it looks cheap. I appreciate times have been tough, but you only get what you pay for. Furthermore, when Weta Workshop and Milk VFX are able to produce more convincing CGI for a weekly TV series in Thunderbirds or Go, as opposed to a major Hollywood motion picture with a $250 million budget, that says a lot. Plus, Universal have confirmed that there are 2 more sequels confirmed, with Fast and Furious 9 scheduled for April 10, 2020. By that point, it will have been 19 years since the first movie had been released. We've said this before, the 2015 end of year panel. Fast 7 should have been it, with the sad passing of Paul Walker. But Universal seem intent on milking this franchise for all it's worth.
Money, 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 money. Got $1. I got $1.
Ching, ching, bling, bling, dollar, dollar.
Who else saw Fast 8?
Me.
A little bit.
Lydia?
Well, here's another franchise that went on for a film too many. The action sequences were backcrap crazy, but they were fairly decent, especially that scene with the zombie cars in New York. Yeah, and everyone did a decent job. There were a bit of weird character motivation, especially The Rock's character and Jason Statham's character. It's like, why are we trusting this guy who tried to kill us?
Exactly.
And killed Han.
Yeah, Charlize. That makes no sense. But and Charlize Theron was a decent villain. I did kind of enjoy her performance. She was just playing again another stone cold bitch, but she does it so well. I'm just like, all in all, I'm just waiting for them to go to space or travel through time.
Oh no.
That's my 2 cents on that.
Fast out of time. Raiden, I know you have something to say. Go nuts.
I don't know, man. It's like, I like the movie for what it was, but it's like, I definitely agree with you, man. It's like, they should have stopped the Furious 7 in honor of Paul Walker.
Yeah.
It's just like, they were doing, I feel like they were just doing too much. It's like it's for a franchise started with like fast cars, undercover cops, and all that. It just turned into like a giant adventure movie. It's like when will it stop? Well, I mean, we all know when will it stop, but Universal won't let it. But that's like half of every movie franchise that we like that we don't recognize anymore. But
Yeah.
I did like the performance of the characters itself, and I'm just gonna say this right now. Half of 2017, it was movie-wise, it was the movie of heel turns, and I'm using heel turns as a air quotes here. So, I mean, we all know that characters that we like don't go full blown evil. I mean, that's what the movie trailers leads you to believe. But I don't know. Action-wise, it was okay, but it's like for me, it was just too much.
There has been talk about possibly bringing Paul Walker's character back, but have someone else play him. It's just like no, leave him alone.
Don't go the straight to DVD movie route. No.
I mean, it's like we've pretty much, as I've pretty much said, 7 should have been it. Because the way that, even with the way they had to work around the problems of him sadly not being there anymore, they were able to still have him be in the movie. All right, his role was reduced somewhat, and having him in the shadows or having his face CG'd onto his brother's face, but you know, the fact they were able to finish it, I thought, okay, kudos to you. You were able to get that done. It's something he probably would have wanted to have seen finished, but in all honesty, this movie didn't need to exist. Although, I did feel like it was a touching, classy gesture where Dominic Toretto's son is named Brian, which I thought, okay, I like that. It's a nice, classy gesture, but I don't know. It's getting to that point now where it's going like Nightmare on Elm Street, because that went for a little while longer than it should have done. And also, Vin Diesel's not getting any younger. I mean,
That's true.
I mean, will it be a situation where he calls it quits at Fast 10, and we get one of his kids come in, and then it goes on to Fast 11? At that point, I'm like, no, that's it. I'm out. Done. You said 10. You guaranteed me 10. No. I'm out.
I think that would be the point where they develop the time machine.
Oh, sweet Lord.
Brian has gone back in time.
Oh.
Oh no. Fast 12. Fast to the past.
Don't give them ideas.
God, what are we doing?
I don't need time.
I ain't got ideas. I got money.
I don't have time travel. I got family.
I ain't got common sense. I got family.
Oh dear.
At this point, with the Fast and Furious films attempting to top itself with its action sequences, at which point, when are they going to end up just crossing over with the Transformers series?
Oh, God, no.
I don't think they're that far gone yet.
Oh no! Really? Does it seem that does it seem just a little bit off just to have the robots at this point the cars at this point end up turning into robots, jumping out of planes and shit?
I wouldn't put it past them.
They have mechs now. They drive mechs instead.
Victor Cross has just sent in the comments section, Fast 9, the fastest and the furiouser. Or, God willing, the last of the furious. Fast Nine, the
Five.
family is furious. Fast
This is
10
make
will
up names
be
as
a
they
new
go.
trilogy with the kids.
Fat,
Oh,
like
God.
what do you go? Fast and Furious, the next generation.
Make it so.
Da,
be
da, da,
called
da,
Teen-
da, da, da.
It will be called Teens of the Furious.
Oh,
No, God, no.
All right. Up next, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Ooh.
So good.
yes.
This movie really expanded on from where the first movie established, with a team of ragtag misfits coming together to form a competent team. Here, they really emphasized the theme of family, from Peter Quill forming a bond with his estranged celestial father in Ego. Kurt Russell knocks it out of the park as this very eccentric character who seems well-meaning until it gets revealed of the dark nature that is beneath the surface of his charming exterior. It's not hard to see why Chris Pratt is such a good actor, going on to greater things since appearing as Peter Quill in the first movie, and then on to Jurassic World as Owen Brady, as you really believe when he learns that Ego was the one who killed his mother. You push the mama button, don't do that.
You shouldn't have did that.
The rest of the cast reprised their roles, turning good performances, especially Bradley Cooper as the lovable Rocket Raccoon, aka the Trash Panda, according to Star-Lord.
Yeah. Love me the trash panda.
Kaiju Noir, your 2 cents.
Thank you. As a huge fan of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I was hyped as hell for the second installment. While many have felt that the more recent Marvel movies have fallen into a pattern where most of them share similar story beats, I feel like the Guardians films have been able to escape this rut due to Marvel Studios giving a lot more creative freedom to the writer-director James Gunn. Much like the first film, Guardians Volume 2 still retains the same ensemble cast of Star-Lord, Drax, Gamora, Rocket, and the inclusion of Baby Groot and Mantis, with their camaraderie and chemistry just as strong as ever. Their dialogue was sharp and witty, and the sci-fi spectacle was simply dazzling. The standout performance, however, was our space hillbilly, Yondu, played by Michael Rooker, as he managed to play a character that was sympathetic, badass, threatening, and which led to a fleshed out character that served as the key to the film's themes of familial bonds. Finally, this film manages to break the curse of forgettable Marvel villains by having none other than Snake Plissken himself as Ego the Living Planet. Kurt Russell nails it as the emotionally manipulative, godlike being, and served as an awesome antagonist for the film as our characters go through their own situations, which all tie to him. And of course, it wouldn't be a Guardians movie without the retro soundtrack, filled with both recognizable songs, along with some tunes that were new to my ears, that all blend into the background and bring out the emotions the filmmakers wanted me to experience. Overall, it was one of the best action films of the year, and I highly recommend it for those who enjoyed the first film.
Yeah.
Nice. Just look in the comment section real quick. Victor Cross said Volume 2 was awesome. Kurt Russell proves he still got it. And Toby once said his brother worked on Guardians and made the Necrocraft.
Oh.
Nice.
Neat.
Cool.
Who else saw Guardians?
Me.
I did.
Read on.
This movie will just make you just love life, because it's just a roller coaster ride of emotions, fun, and funny one-liners. And I gotta say, I'm very, very proud of Batista being part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. Like, we all know him as a wrestler, but he's pretty damn funny as Drax the Destroyer. Just started. I mean, the beginning of the first Guardians of the Galaxy that came out in 2014 started out as like a vengeful alien who wants revenge for his family. But with this movie, his comedic side really brought the movie into a great light. With every performance dominating, especially freaking Jeff Bridges as Ego was just balls to the wall fun. And let's not forget the really funny and serious performance by Sylvester Stallone. I'm like,
Yeah,
really-
that
really-
threw me off. I'm like, whoa, how did they get him?
I mean, with the whole
What?
80s soundtrack thing, let's be fair. It was a matter of time they would have to use them for a Marvel film. So it's like, there's that. So another favorite character of mine was Mantis, who was kind of childlike in a way, but still wanted to do good. So the one part that really just made me almost tear up was, oh god, y'all do it hurt my soul seeing that. But at least the character itself just did his job, just being an awesome surrogate father to Peter Quill, and I will miss him dearly. So with that said, love the movie. If anyone's listening, just watch it for yourself. You're going to have a blast of the time.
Lydia?
Well, James Gunn has knocked it out of the park yet again. It was another exciting and strange, but in a good way, film, and with a lot of heart. The acting was amazing. Everybody has the best chemistry. From Gamora to Nebula having a rivalry that ends with them finally sorting out their issues, to Drax, which I did not see coming. That's like how he's saying that she's ugly, but it's like, oh, that's nice. It's like ugly people don't lie. It's beautiful. And of course, Peter Quill with his relationship with his real father and his surrogate father. Yeah, everybody turned out an amazing performance, and Kurt Russell, perfect as Ego. Because I like a villain is perfect when you don't know where the villain is gonna go until you fight. Because I was falling for it watching that movie, and then I realized when you get to the point of the movie where you find out, oh shit, he's a bat crap crazy. Okay. Every character was used effectively, and and I'm excited to see these guys team up with the Avengers. The
Yeah.
visuals were breathtaking. The space battles were sick.
Yeah, really good.
The secondary villains, however, they're a little mediocre at best. They only served the purpose of setting up the third movie where we're gonna get Adam Warlock. But yeah, when Taserface is a bigger threat than the Solid Gold Dancers, you have a bit of a problem. But it was definitely a good time, and I recommend people go and see this movie now.
When did you see this one?
Sadly, no. I wanted to.
Ooh, you need to.
Alrighty.
We'll have a blast.
Up next, Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
Let's go crazy.
I had an inkling that this movie would be good. Just wasn't expecting it to be this good. First and foremost, Gal Gadot expands greatly on the role that will more than likely catapult her into superstardom. You believe her as Diana Prince with a very honest performance whereby you forget you're seeing an actress play the character and you just see the character on the screen. In the same vein, when people watch the Christopher Reeve Superman flicks, they didn't see an actor playing Superman, they just saw Superman. Chris Pine does well with what he has to work with as Steve Trevor, and it has to be said that the paper-thin romance angle between him and Diana was just a chore to watch, as there was no weight to their relationship. Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone from Amazing Spider-Man had better chemistry. Same thing with Amy Adams and Henry Cavill from Man of Steel. It just felt like Chris and Gal were going through the motions with that aspect of the movie. Danny Houston phones another performance in, as he so often does, with the lone exception of 30 Days of Night. By the way, I haven't forgotten about X-Men Origins Wolverine. Try as I might.
Ugh.
Yeah, he sucked in that movie. The visual and special effects, as I will remind you, and Victor Cross will remind you, visual and special effects, two different things. And they are decent for what you'd expect of a superhero movie, and the action scenes do get your adrenaline going. At the moment, opinion only, I'd say this is probably the best standalone DC movie in their cinematic universe. Although that could be challenged with the standalone Batman movie. Win,
That's right.
you're up.
I have to say, I rented this yesterday because I never really had the chance due to a heavy work schedule when Wonder Woman came out. I rented it last night. I watched it twice. And I've got to say, I've had a blast. And it was just a treat. The visuals were pleasing to the eyes. Gal Gadot gave a very, very convincing performance. I loved the kind of chemistry between her, Steve, and the other group of ragtag soldiers as they're beating the ever-loving crap out of Nazis. I loved the fight between Ares and Diana. It was just really, really good. The pacing was well executed. I just love everything about it so far, especially how visually appealing they made Themyscira. And the fact that they kind of made the story about the Amazons kind of look similar to that of an old Greco-Roman fresca.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, fresco. But yes, all in all, good movie. Loved it. And that's all I have to say about that.
Kaiju Noir.
Okay. It must have been, or it must have felt like a Herculean task of coming up with a film that could escape the terrible reputation of Batman v Superman, all while making a faithful adaptation of one of the most famous female characters in modern day fiction. Yet everyone involved in the making of this film, in the making of the Wonder Woman film, succeeded in my eyes. Being that my mother is a diehard fan of the character, mostly due to the Linda Carter television series, and hearing how much she adored the film, I honestly had tears of joy running down my face as I finally saw my mom's idol up on the big screen when the film finally came to Japan. Simply put, Gal Gadot captures the breathtaking all the breathtaking heroic qualities of the Amazonian princess, including her sympathetic need to protect all life, her graceful beauty, her naive yet attentive attitude, her athletic prowess. Her supporting cast, which included Chris Pratt as her love interest, Steve Trevor, and Connie Nielsen as her mother, Hippolyta, all helped flesh the worlds of both man and the Amazons, providing two wonderfully contrasting societies, one trapped in a safe yet unchanging world, and another that's progressing but potentially towards its own destruction. Also, Wonder Woman's theme has got to be one of the most exciting superhero themes I've heard in a long time, especially in an era where everybody wants to copy Hans Zimmer's style. Much like Logan, this is another film where the villain feels like a bit like an afterthought, and the climate itself felt a bit lackluster, as it was simply two superhumans throwing each other at hunks of metal across a boring flat surface, kind of similar to what we had in BVS. Yet it did not prevent the movie from being an overall exciting period piece superhero film about a character people have waited decades to see in cinemas.
Man's done it again. Who else saw Wonder Woman?
Me.
I did.
Lydia.
Well, DC and Warner Brothers, 1 out of 3 isn't bad. This was a fun and enjoyable film, and we can thank Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot for that.
Yep.
Gal is Diana Prince, or Diana. She showed glimpses of that in Batman vs Superman, but we finally got to see that and come to fruition in this film. We got to see her evolution from the naive and eager young warrior ready to see the world and change it beyond her home, to a powerful goddess who confronted the god of war and won. The visuals were gorgeous and possibly the brightest film in any of the DC universe. And that includes all the scenes in Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Gal Gadot, Chris Pine did a decent job as Steve Trevor. And although I will admit, it was kind of ironic to see another Steve die in a plane crash in World War One. It's like, oh, that's funny. I thought that was ironic. But yeah, I'll agree with Kaiju. Their chemistry was, they would have been better off as friends instead of building off as a romance.
Yeah.
I would have that. And Patty Jenkins again did a good job directing this film. And to think this woman was going to direct Thor: The Dark World.
Really?
It could have been a decent film. And I honestly can't wait to see the sequel to Wonder Woman. And I'm so glad that Wonder Woman's finally getting some much deserved respect. Just seeing little girls to dress up like Wonder Woman, I'm like, that warms my heart because she's deserves that for her long history. She deserves that as a character.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that was kind of one of the reasons why I was so emotional when I saw the movie myself, because in my head, I was just thinking of how happy every single fan of Wonder Woman must have felt when they all got the chance to see this movie for the first time.
Yeah.
I've been waiting forever for this movie.
Yeah. And thankfully, they did not screw this one up.
No,
Yep.
they did not.
DC Cinematic Universe, this is how you do a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can only assume that DC was like right now. DC has been trying to get their cinematic universe back on track, and so it's like I think that they initially had this plan, like, okay, we're gonna do this movie, and this movie. All right. Oh shit, they didn't like Man of Steel. Well, let's make some changes to BVS. Oh shit, they didn't like BVS. All right, let's do some changes for Justice League. Let's let Wonder Woman be its own thing. Oh shit, they liked Wonder Woman. Okay, let's do some more changes to Justice League.
Oh, let's make sure that Suicide Squad is funny, by the way. Let's make that
Oh
funny.
yeah. Oh shit, they didn't like that either.
God, no!
Like the one movie they didn't, I think Warner Brothers didn't really have a lot of faith in Wonder Woman and just allowed it to be its own thing. So it's like the one movie that people did like, and they're like, oh crap, now we gotta put whatever was good there and put it here too. It's like, Kathy Jenkins, where are you? Wait, come back!
We need you!
Don't leave us!
I can leave Thor, I can leave you.
We can hear the fans boiling the tar and plucking feathers off of chickens as we speak.
It's also an interesting take to have her origins set in World War One and not World War Two, like it had been originally in the comics.
My theory was that maybe they try to do that just to distance itself just a wee bit from Captain America: The First Avenger.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's
Raiden.
You guys pretty much said it. I mean, DC, congratulations. You finally got a W. Now, I think I have to explain this once again. I mean, I don't hate DC. I love both DC and Marvel. I mean, the content they produce is fun, but when it comes to the movies, aside from the Nolan Batman movies, with the exception of 2, I didn't like Dark Knight Rises. But excuse me. With Wonder Woman, I was thoroughly impressed on how they did the lore. I mean, I really like how they just sought through the Greek mythology and just made it part of the story itself. Fight scene wise, it was amazing. Gal Gadot kills it as Wonder Woman. Really like the costume. I mean, fight scenes in general was just all around amazing. And some movies that I wish that were good, I.e. Suicide Squad. Wish they had people like Eddie Jenkins that captured every single moment. So once again, DC, you finally got a W.
Yep. Alrighty. Up next. Oh god.
Oh no! Oh no!
I know what you're talking about.
The Mummy 2017.
Oh, that hurts
Oh, sweet merciful Lord.
so.
Somewhere within the mess of this flick is an adequate movie. But would you know this beneath the confusing tone shifts and inconsistent pacing? Chances are, no. Tom Cruise does well with the material he's given to work with, but even he can't save this train wreck in what is supposed to be the launching piece for Universal's Dark Universe series. The one who shined above everyone was Russell Crowe with his role as Jekyll and Hyde. He has the duality down to a fine art with his eloquent vocal delivery as Dr. Henry Jekyll and Eddie Hyde, respectively. What lets his Hyde performance down is down to the visual effects artists, of which all they do is give him yellow CG eyes and grayed up skin and no visual muscular enhancement. The location feels too contained and it's restricted to the London area once the flick reaches that part of the flick, as opposed to the 1999 movie, of which is vastly superior to this without even trying. As in that movie, you got given a grand scale, whereas this reboot has the same scale problem of that of Deadpool. The only difference is Deadpool knew what it wanted to be and was actually successful, compared to this movie, which suffered a huge identity crisis in not being able to keep to one specific tone. Who else saw this movie?
Unfortunately, I did.
Ooh.
Go ahead, dude.
You first.
Oh, dear God, what the fuck were they thinking? Oh, dude. When you know the 90s version of The Mummy was better, you know you have to do better. But no. They tried so hard to be the Avengers. It was just not good. One thing I will say, Sophia Boutella as Queen or Princess Amunet, Amunet, thank you. I really enjoyed the makeup she had. I mean, it worked. But in the end, man, it's like they were just trying so hard to create this new Avenger style. I mean, but I'll do even better. They were trying so hard to be the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh,
And we all know how that movie was. Okay, to be honest with you, off topic, I thought it was okay. I mean, character wise, they were like, yeah, guilty pleasure. That's right. Yeah, it was a guilty pleasure of mine. But with this, I'm kind of glad that this movie got the slander it deserves, because now the Dark Universe is finito.
Yep.
So, man, it was just painful to watch. Just every scene was just phoned in. CGI was just jockeying the Mummy and the Mummy Returns so badly. It was just not a fun experience. I'll just tell you that right now.
No. Oh, Victor Cross just saying in the chat section, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen made Sean Connery quit acting. It was literally his last movie.
Yeah.
Damn!
I cannot stand this Hollywood bullshit anymore. I'm going to retirement.
It's funny that he actually sounds like that.
What the bloody fuck was that? If this is what new action movies are like nowadays, you can count me out.
What is going on? You made me a damn sniper. What's wrong with you? No!
The good thing now is I can check out all the hot shingles that are going around. Yeah.
For God's sakes, I should have been in that bloody Lord of the Rings movie.
He was supposed to be Gandalf.
But he was like, the script, it doesn't make any sense. And I was like,
And you just
motherfucker,
see-
you were in. I was like,
you
motherfucker,
just
you were
see-
in Zardoz.
Oh my God. And you just see Ian McKellen sitting in a corner in the dark, smirking smugly, drinking out of his coffee cup. I tried to tell you to go for the roll, old friend.
Oh dear. Who else saw the Mummy?
I did.
Go on, Lydia.
Oh, poor Lids.
Strike 3, Universal. Strike fucking 3.
Oh, dear.
Wolfman and Dracula Untold. The only difference is those films had a fucking tone and could stick with it.
That's true.
This in the face of all the fans of the Universal monster movies. This film didn't know what it wanted to be. And what's worse, they shoved Tom Cruise down our throats. I get he's a draw, but he is not a young man anymore, even though the film tells you otherwise.
It's also ironic that he is treated as a younger character than Russell Crowe, even though he's like a year or two older than Russell Crowe.
I know!
He's like he's looking into the mirror. I'm young, damn it! I'm still young.
Is it wrong? The
You
only
granted
movie
me
role I like from him-
immortality.
And
Is
what's
it wrong?
worse,
The only movie role I like from him is Edge of Tomorrow.
yeah, he was good in that. He was good in that.
Yeah.
What's worse is that they put the cart before the horse and decided to go all because of the fact that the shared universe thing is popular. Well, even though the Universal monster movie started the whole shared universe thing first, but because it's popular now, they have to do it. Look, you know when you make the DCEU competent, you know you have fucking problem. Just go back to trying. Stop making those movies.
You know, it's pretty sad.
I'm
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say it's pretty sad when Guillermo del Toro can make a decent Universal monster homage film with that recent movie, The Shape of Water, on like a shoestring budget comparison to The Mummy.
I
Yeah, Guillermo del
know.
Toro kills it.
Yeah, for those that don't know, like The Shape of Water is kind of like a strange horror romance movie between a deaf woman and a creature from the Black Lagoon-esque creature.
But I saw that trailer. I'm like, whoa, we're going that route? Okay.
Like, this is different. I appreciate different in Hollywood.
Like, nice.
Okay. Up next. Oh no.
Oh no.
Let me guess. It's the bane of your existence as a fan of a certain
Franchise?
toy.
Oh
You
God!
regret this
Andrew's
upon
gonna blow.
yourself, MJ.
Transformers: The Last Night.
Let the real fun begin, baby.
Oh,
Boy.
sweet Lord.
Everybody duck and cover.
I hate this
Okay.
movie. I hate this movie. I hate this movie. Only two actors gave a damn in Mark Wahlberg, Cade Yeager, and Josh Duhamel's returning Captain Lennox, who hadn't been seen since Transformers 3. The writing is even
Stay
more
away, Brett.
absurd than ever, with continuity being ignored, to Prime forgetting when Bumblebee first spoke to him at the end of the first movie, to the Transformers helping humanity throughout time, even though the first movie is when they were supposed to have come to Earth for the first time, and Earth is Unicron. I don't even know where to begin telling you how asinine that is. Now Cloud Galactus has someone to laugh at. Also, how is Galvatron Megatron again? That makes no sense. Also, the idea of the enchanted amulet that the CG just looks so bad on Mark Wahlberg that it somehow swims up his arm onto his wrist and suddenly sports an Excalibur, giant Excalibur-like sword to stop Prime from being killed. I thought, okay, you're just making this shit up as you go along now, aren't you? This just made no sense. Avoid this movie altogether. I haven't been this disappointed with a flick since Iron Man 3.
Ooh.
I just. Oh.
That movie. Fuck that movie. Fuck that movie. Fuck that movie.
Oh, sweet lord. I know I've been venting for like the last few months, particularly on Sunday Night Live, of how bad this movie is. People have seen how bad this movie is. They now know. Because when you make Transformers Revenge of the Fallen look like a cinematic masterpiece, you done goofed.
And at
Yeah,
least
that was a movie that literally shot action scenes with no script behind them and had to write them afterwards and try to fit all the random action scenes together.
and at least it was a fun to watch.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, Jetfire was pretty cool and interesting.
Yeah. And also, we've got Transformers 6 coming for 2019, and next year we've got the Bumblebee movie with John Cena as his partner.
Oh,
I can't
good.
wait. I can't wait to hear how. I can't wait for them to forget that Bumblebee can speak again.
Who else saw the last night?
I did.
Raiden.
To the planet being Unicron.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. that.
Did you just pull a Kanan and Kel?
Yes. That shit made no damn sense whatsoever. Oh my god. Yo, okay. Some parts I liked, but I don't know. Just characters being phoned in. Unicron back to being Megatron. That made no damn sense to me. I mean,
Right, don't forget the baby Dinobots.
yeah.
No! Kill it with fire!
By the way, why was Hot Rod French?
Why?
That's why.
Oh my god, Anthony Hopkins, why were you in this movie? Just why?
Exactly.
Because
Why?
fuck you, that's why. That's just the answer to everything.
Ugh.
Yeah, just everything. Yeah, pretty much, especially in Hollywood standards, which is not looking good. But we won't talk about that until the next couple of Sunday Lives, because let's be honest, Hollywood scandals are out the wazoo at this point.
Also, the less we say about Cogman, the better. Oh!
No.
Oh my god. Yeah, fuck this movie easily, but it was just, for me, it was laughably bad. I enjoyed it for the wrong reasons, but for me, the one thing they always got right since Age of Extinction is get rid of Shia LaBeouf's character, because that character annoyed the crap out of me. Let me tell you. Oh, dude.
Probably the easiest script for them to write because all he had to say was no.
Or Optimus!
Bumblebee!
Yeah, like,
No, 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 no,
At
no,
least
no,
I'm
no, no,
grateful
no.
for one thing. At least the parents are now gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank fucking God.
Are they dead?
Yeah, oh, dude. I think for me, my only favorite Transformer was Drift, because ever since I knew about the character, I just enjoyed him. I mean, how can you not like a character that carries like two to three swords on his back?
Nice.
So in the end, I enjoyed the movie for the wrong reasons. It is, man, it will never stop. Even without Michael Bay, it will never stop.
No.
It will never stop. Ever. Oh my god, the freaking horror with this movie. That's all I gotta say. The freaking horror.
No.
even though me and my friends enjoyed it one time, we like talking about it, but in the end, with me, it's like, just stop. Stop before you piss off the Transformers fans, because you will never hear the end of it.
Nope.
Kind of like Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I enjoy those two movies, but still, that's whatever.
Victor Cross is saying in the chat, it was agony. It was an accomplishment if you could actually sit through the entire thing. I actually did as well.
That's like getting stabbed in the back multiple times. It's like twisting it over it. It's like more pain times 12.
What's also very apparent that the filmmakers simply did not give a damn, judging by what you and the rest of you guys and the rest of the internet have mentioned or have said. Like this was now the 10th anniversary of the first live action Transformers film,
Yep.
and this movie does really nothing to really celebrate that milestone. Like usually you would have something like an anniversary movie that would at least try to pay homage to the franchise or pay homage to the entire series thus far. I mean, a lot of people really enjoyed Skyfall because it celebrated, I believe, the 50th or 60th anniversary of James Bond by being more of a tribute film in that case. And here, this movie, from what you guys have said, seems to have done nothing to acknowledge that milestone.
No. And
it's just another film.
And Peter
It's like
Peter Cullen just sounded so bored with his delivery.
It's like getting punched by Kenshiro with the North Star 100 cracker fist multiple times.
Damn.
Hearing
Damn.
phoning it in. Omae wo Moshinderu. You're already dead. By the way, thank you, Kaiser, for helping me with that, because I've used it on Prez one time when he did too many innuendos.
Was this last week during the Survivor Series review?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. Because I was pimp slapping him.
Yeah, from now on I'm using it as a special weapon.
And Oni kept super kicking him.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
I can't help but feel a little sorry for Prez, but those puns were so bad.
I know.
Brought it on himself.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is the queen of the three back.
He's lucky that Wynn didn't power up a dragon slave. It was
Oh no, that was reserved for Triple H.
No, that's reserved for other things. Like for when I did my little pipe bum for the final match of Survivor Series. Seriously, fuck that match.
We all did. Me and Lydia especially.
Yup.
That match. Just
All right, Lydia.
happy thoughts. Happy
last
thoughts.
one up.
Okay. Nostalgia critic, help me out on regards of Michael Bay directing any more of these movies.
Oh boy.
Hope you heard that, because he kept saying, get a clue. Get a fucking clue, Michael Bay. Stop making these fucking movies. We are done. We are done with these stupid pieces of shit that you've been giving us. This movie franchise needs to die a painful death. It needs the old Yeller treatment. Take it out to the back and shoot it in the head. Now, I am done. Fuck this movie. Fuck it up the ass. I'm done. Go. Thank you.
You've done it again, Lydia.
Thank you.
Damn. Whew. Up next, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yay!
Yay!
Huzzah!
This movie is enjoyable. Tom Holland turns in a good performance in his first solo outing as the titular character. Michael Keaton is just a badass as Adrian Toomes, and Robert Downey Jr. makes another decent appearance as Tony Stark, Iron Man. Laura Harrier as Liz does okay with the little material and scenes she has to work with, but if you were to remove her from the movie, it wouldn't affect it. It would make the movie better if Michelle, played by Zendaya, was taken out of the movie, as she offers nothing other than to be a token obnoxious douchebag. Also, fans were not happy that she had the nickname MJ. There was
No.
one MJ in the Spider-Man universe, and that's Mary Jane. Writing-wise, although for me it was an improvement over Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's still not as good as 2004's Spider-Man 2, which I feel is the measuring stick of how to do a good Spidey flick. Kaiju.
Okay. Let's see. While we've already had a plethora of Spider-Man movies from Sony over the last decade and a half, I gotta applaud Marvel Studios for creating a new version of Spidey that feels familiar yet fresh. While the Sam Raimi films were throwbacks to the goofy days of the 60s comics, Mark Webb's was more of a sprawling and mishandled conspiracy thriller. Marvel and Sony's collaborative effort seems to put more of a sci-fi edge on this version of Spider-Man, which makes sense in this context, as Spider-Man is being mentored by Tony Stark in this continuity. Yet, despite all the technical gadgets and gizmos at his disposal, he is, still at the very core, the same awkward teenager who learns to deal with the responsibilities of his dual roles of Peter and the old webhead. The movie brings to mind the classic proverb of learning to crawl before you can walk. And here, Peter is so eager to join Iron Man and the rest of the Avengers that he attempts to shirk his high school life in favor of jumping headfirst into the fast lane, only for him to crash and burn when it becomes too much to handle. Meanwhile, we have a cast of characters to bring a more youthful and energetic vibe to this incarnation of Spider-Man's universe, including a charming and eager best friend with Ned, the annoying and douchey and insecure Flash Thompson, the supporting and caring Aunt May, the sweet and innocent Liz, and Michelle, who I felt was a character similar to Negasonic Teenage Warhead from Deadpool, who was a parody of hip, edgy teens that try to be cool and uncaring, only for characters in the movie to point out her hypocrisy. Finally, there was Michael Keaton as Birdman. I mean, the Vulture. He isn't given a whole lot of material. He isn't given a whole lot of material outside of a basic motivation to provide for his family by stealing from powerful people. It's nothing new or original, but goddamn does Keaton go to town with the role. Just his presence alone, without uttering a single word, is enough to send a chill down my spine. In the end, Spider-Man: Homecoming doesn't break a whole lot of new ground in terms of cinematic Spidey flicks, but it does what it sets out to do. Tell a basic story of a Spider-Man who wants to be part of a bigger world, but must focus on what's truly important before he can reach that goal. It's a faithful adaptation, and it's a breath of fresh air after the mess that was the Amazing Spider-Man series.
The first Amazing Spider-Man movie, it did all right considering what had been left behind with the Sam Raimi series, but after Amazing 2, oh sweet lord, that was just ugh.
Yeah, and as someone who did enjoy the first Amazing Spider-Man film initially, when I went back to watch that movie, you can tell that there were certainly a lot of rewrites. As you can tell, like this was this movie was the result of numerous versions of the script, and you can actually see like the stitches. When you watch the movie, you can see the stitches between the different versions of the script.
Because this is the way that conversation me and the commander, he knows who he is, have said throughout the years. Tobey Maguire is the perfect Peter Parker, but as Spidey, needed so much work. Whereas with Andrew Garfield, all right, maybe not as well polished as Peter Parker, but as Spidey, nailed it, because the guy just couldn't shut up. But Tom Holland,
that's Spider-Man in a nutshell.
but with Tom Holland, he nailed it both sides.
Oh yeah, definitely. He pretty much plays a very well-rounded Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
I just feel as though, I mean, if Sony had just gotten their act together and just let Mark Webb make the Spider-Man movie that he wanted to make with Amazing 2 and not cut so many corners, we might have gotten a better payoff. And here's the thing, Sony still want to go ahead with the Sinister Six cinematic universe. I don't want a Sinister Six cinematic universe, do you?
No.
I do. I will say that.
Unfortunately, that's when they have a Venom movie.
I will say with this movie, they does a really great job at bringing some other lesser known or other minor Spider-Man characters into the film as minor supporting henchmen, like the multiple Shockers and the Matt Gargan, who we got like a teased at being the Scorpion, and he was actually played by a character I really liked in Better Call Saul.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, what was his name? Nacho, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I was like, as soon as I saw that actor, I was like, I know you. Oh snap! You're gonna be the Scorpion. That's cool.
One thing that I have been hearing on the wire that I don't know if Marvel and Sony are going to go ahead with this. So until something more concrete, treat this with pure speculation. They're apparently toying with the idea of getting J. Jonah Jameson to be played by Ice Cube.
What?
I'm sorry, there can be only one J. Jonah Jameson, and his name is J.K. Simmons.
Hells yeah.
That's right.
He's currently working for the other team, so I doubt that they'll let him play ball.
Boo!
I
mean, I'm not.
I mean, if you look at it, especially like back when he was in NWA, maybe because Ice Cube before he became a big Hollywood star, he was very abrasive in your face, and that's what J. Jonah Jameson is, you know. So like, maybe it could work, maybe it can't. Who knows at this point, you know? Like
if he played a role similar to like the police chief from the newer 21 Jump Street films.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Because if you were to play it like that, as like this authoritative figure within an office setting, yeah, I can see him as J.J. Abrams, like a more abrasive one. It's like, it's like, all right, the newspaper industry is getting dead, so give me some goddamn stories for once.
Oh my god! You said J.J. Abrams, dude.
Fuck, oh man.
We don't have that brain farts.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hey, I messed up with I mixed it up with
J. Jonah Jameson.
Jeff Bridges instead of Kurt Russell. So it's
Gotta
cool.
remember, I accidentally said Richard Simmons instead of Gene Simmons. So I'm talking about Kiss the Princess Tale because I was so nervous my first appearance because of the audio issue. I was so thrown off. I'm all, oh god, what else am I gonna fuck? Oh god damn it!
Wait, was that the guy from Swinging to the Oldies?
I think so.
All right, guys, we're gonna rock it out. We're gonna party every night. We're gonna rock and roll all night and party every day.
I meant to say Gene Simmons, but for some reason, my brain did not want to transfer towards my vocal cords that day. My brain just decided to phone it in.
To be fair, a lot of people were skeptical with the idea of Lawrence Fishburne playing Perry White because based on the roles that he's played in the past, from things like Cowboy Curtis in Pee-wee Herman's Funhouse to playing Morpheus from The Matrix. But to be fair to Lawrence, he pulled it off.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. With what little material he was given.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Until he got hit with the Nolan Ray.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this.
Thank God Christopher Nolan decided to jump ship when he did after Man of Steel.
Ugh.
Like, I told you I didn't want to do any superhero. I told you I didn't want to do any more superhero movies.
You can be the catalyst that everyone wants.
Yeah. Who else saw Spider-Man: Homecoming?
I did.
I did too.
Go on, Win.
Let's see. Again, that was one of the two rentals I had bought. Well, not bought. Yeah, that I had purchased the other night, and it was the first I watched, and I gotta say, it was a treat. Like most movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Tom Holland knocked it out of the park as Spidey. He got the awkwardness down pack. He got the mouthy, smart alecky, overly opinionated part of Spidey down packed. I loved how he fanboyed whenever in the presence of Tony Stark, because that was something that old Petey was known for doing.
Mhm.
I loved Michael Keaton's performance as the Vulture. It was really well done. Part of you kind of wanted to sympathize with the guy because it's pretty much the little guy getting fucked over by the big corporation turned villain, but at the same time, he knows how to villain very, very well. And the final fight between him and Spidey probably has to be one of my favorite combat scenes, because you don't really see many combat scenes well executed while on a plane that's about to crash into New York.
Mhm. Yeah, that was a very nice sequence.
Yeah.
It's like, please turn, please turn, please turn.
Probably one of
And he didn't have his suit Stark had modified from at the time. He had his classic homemade one.
Mhm.
Oh, that was nice. I like that too.
Yeah, very nice. We got to see more of that suit.
I liked
go ahead,
Donald.
sorry.
I liked Donald Glover's cameo. It was discreet, but at the same time, when you've read the article that he wanted to be Spidey, you can't help but go, "I see what you did there." See, Sony, this is how you do a movie. You guys have the potential to do good movies like this, the other Spider-Man movies. If you would just stop shooting yourselves in the foot, listen to constructive criticism, also get a better firewall.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like, this is how you do a movie, Sony, not a commercial.
Has to be said with regards to Keaton as Adrian Toomes, that was a better movie with him as a villain rather than the last time he was a villain in a superhero type movie, aka RoboCop 2014.
Yeah, he really shined. He really shined in this, and I love the fact that the director gave one of the more B-C list villains a chance to shine. With
Yeah,
a couple of the D-listers in the background, like Scorpion and Shocker. And I loved how he even kept how Vulture, aka Toomes, kept Petey's identity a secret to Scorpion. If I knew who he was, he'd probably be dead by now.
Yeah.
All in all, I enjoyed the hell of this movie. It was fun, and at the same time, it felt realistic because you saw Parker make a whole lot of mistakes and do his best to fix them. Or I'm probably paraphrasing in this case for Tony Stark's line, "You screwed the pooch, but you did the right thing. You took it to the veterinary clinic, did all you needed to do." And it also took a lot of guts for Petey to kind of decline the offer of the Avengers, especially since that was kind of what he wanted to do to begin with, was become an Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, I've said my piece. Good movie. Watch it.
Just reading the comments section from Victor Cross. Fun fact, Mark Hamill was slated to play the Vulture if Michael Keaton passed on the role.
What?
That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting, but I would have wanted to see him as the Hobgoblin, but that's my childhood.
Ooh,
nostalgia.
yeah.
I'm
Yes.
such a bad hacker. Bad.
Maybe in the future. Who knows?
Also to note, if they had made the fourth Spider-Man movie in the Sam Raimi series, that was going to be Spider-Man's villain, and from word on the wire, he would have been played by John Malkovich.
Ooh, that would have been interesting.
But
That's an
And-
interesting pick.
that
Oh, and they were actually, from what I heard, they also the fourth one. They were gonna have Felicia Hardy in there.
I would have loved
and
that.
a cameo of Mysterio played by Bruce Campbell.
We could have had Black Cat.
Oh, here's the thing: she wasn't going to be Black Cat.
Oh, poopy.
Spoilers. Turns out she was going to be Adrian Toomes' daughter, and she was going to become the Vulturess.
According to what
No.
Sony wanted.
What?
Sony wanted.
Yeah, like they wanted to have Black Cat, but Sam Raimi wanted the Vulture, and Sony's like, all right, we'll compromise. How about a Vultress?
I'm like,
And
no.
Yeah,
Sam
that's
Raimi was like,
Yeah, that's like turning Zod into Doomsday. Oh wait, that happened.
That happened.
um,
Oh, I found a piece of I found a piece of concept art that would have that had Bruce Campbell as Mysterio. I'll try to send it on the Google Hangouts.
ooh, hello.
Awesome. Because
Nope.
it
I
made
want to see.
I need to see this. Ooh.
Because he's already been brought in by Spider-Man into the police office, and so he bumps into the
Hey,
police office,
that's not
the
bad.
policeman front desk, and his helmet falls off.
Quentin Beck.
that would have been cool.
I wonder if they would have kept his fishbowl like helmet, or if they would have done a modernized design.
Here you go.
They
I
kinda-
just answered
they
your
kinda-
question.
They kind of did in the Spider-Man 2 game, so you know.
They kept the fishbowl.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
And
Hey!
here's one. Here is one more. There you go.
That would have been cool, especially
Oh, nice.
with all the setup of his cameos in the movie, just him being Quentin Beck in disguise.
Although, to be fair, Felicia Hardy technically was Black Cat in the movie series, but it was the game tie-in with Spider-Man 2, the game.
Yeah, it was.
I know. I was disappointed. I wanted it. I loved the game, but at the same time, I kind of wanted an opportunity to see Black Cat on the big screen.
Yeah.
Plus, you know the games are never canon.
It was also at one exchange where they were stopping an art theft going on, and Tobey Maguire says, as Spidey, show me the Monet.
Ugh.
But to be fair with Maguire in the games, he was actually given a chance to properly be Spidey and actually have quips and corny one-liners. It's like, you know what? I can take that. That's all right. And also that one of those oh, you done goofed moments from the movie is when he goes saying up to the suit, assuming that Stark is not gonna isn't there. It's like, if you even cared, you would be here. Opens the suit. I was like, fuck.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, speaking of suits, I gotta say, like, whoever designed the Spider-Man's first and costume and his what would have been his Avengers costume, does it me or does it seem like whoever designed those costumes must have been a fan of Ben Reilly? Because we have a sleeveless hoodie, like a reverse-colored sleeveless hoodie for his original homemade suit. And then for the Avengers costume, we had like the one with the spider legs sprawling across his entire torso.
Yeah, in a way, it was an homage to Ben Reilly and to the Iron Spider costume.
Yeah.
I don't know why so many people rag on the suit that Tony Stark made for him in particularly when he first showed up in Civil War and then continuing.
Oh, you mean like with the black stripes across his limbs?
See, Random explains it to saying, Spider-Man is meant to be down on his luck. He's not meant to have, to be a high-tech suit like that. And it's like, yeah, but and I had to explain to him, he didn't make the suit. He was given this suit to aid him because it's actually helping him in places. And
I can understand that, but I feel like they still were able to make a character who tries to do so much more than even him and all his gadgets are capable of. And they still made it a point to say, hey, even without all these gadgets, he is still Spider-Man.
yeah.
Like, that's like the whole ending with the original costume is supposed to imply that he doesn't need all that gadget. He didn't need that new suit at the end of the movie. He was just fine, keeping the basics. And yeah, I can see where your brother's coming from, but I feel like the more high-tech Spider-Man suit was worked in this context.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was probably Marvel's way of making their Spider-Man different from the Sony version. Like the Sony version, sure, it was perfect. It didn't have any gadgets. It looked just like it was comic book accurate. But I feel like with Marvel, I think they made it they wanted to make a conscious decision to make their Spider-Man distinct from that version that they did not want to associate with. I mean, why else would they not bring back Andrew Garfield? So, it's like, let's give our spider suit, this new spider suit, new gadgets. Let's put some black stripes on it to make it let people know, yes, this is the Marvel MCU Spider-Man. And, for me personally, I didn't have a problem with it.
Also, I like the fact that he was actually given an onboard AI in his suit, and
That Karen.
I actually had to look for the credits. I'm like, holy shit, that was Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like how when he's looking at Liz, even Karen's saying, dude, that's that girl you like. Maybe this is your chance to kiss her. I'm like, aw. I thought that was adorable.
Aw.
All right, take it easy, Victor Cross. He's heading off for the night or afternoon because it's it's about 3 p.m. over on the Pacific coast.
Yep, 3:19.
Who else saw Homecoming?
I did.
I did.
Lydia.
All right. Well, this is a movie I've always wanted to see Spider-Man in the MCU. This was not only a superhero film, this was also an homage to coming-of-age films from the high school films from the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
This felt like the late, great John Hughes directed a Spider-Man film. The humor was well used, and it fit in certain scenes, but it also knew when to get serious, especially in the scene where Peter confronts Tony, or Tony confronts Peter after he kind of done goofed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was good. And I was also pleased that they used Tony Stark sparingly when I thought, like everybody else, that this was just going to be Iron Man 4 featuring Spider-Man. The supporting cast was good. The standouts include Jacob, I think I'm pronouncing his last name wrong, Jacob Batalon as Ned Leeds. He had a very good balance of chemistry with Tom Holland. They bounced off each other really good, and it's like it's how I would react if I found out my best friend was a superhero. I'd be like, hugging him like crazy. Like, can you do this? Can you do that? Like, no, dude. And also Marissa Tomei as Hot Aunt May, which, I'll be fair, that gag of them every single movie got a little tiresome. I got a little annoyed. Like, okay, we get it. She's got hot. Let it go. I'm probably one of the few people that actually like Zendaya as Michelle. Although I will say this: if they make her a love interest, I will be really annoyed. I'm like, no, she's not Mary Jane Watson. Stop it. And of course, about the legendary Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne. I mean Adrian Toomes. Yeah, he was a very good villain. One of the out of Phase 3, he's one of the 3 villains going with Ego and another villain who shall mention later. But and he was cool because his motivations come from a place we all can understand, especially nowadays.
Yep.
And Keaton, this has been his year, and he needs an Oscar, not for this, but for other things. It was a fun film and a great potential for the franchise. And I can't wait to see more.
You know, it's funny you mention Zendaya is not Mary Jane Watson. Originally, from what I heard, they were going to make her Mary Jane.
I was going to be pissed if that happened. I liked her, but
sorry, go ahead.
I said I liked her character, not Mary Jane Watson.
Was it like
Mary Jane
announced
was-
at some point that she was casted as MJ?
Yeah, it was. It's backlash.
Hmm.
And they said, "Oh no, she's not MJ. She's not Mary Jane. She's not Mary Jane."
Okay, I could have sworn that sort of backlash was made towards Liz Allen when she was casted.
I don't think
I
they
guess
had
I
any
kind of
problem.
got. Okay, I guess I just kind of got the news confused, considering they're both characters who were Caucasian or white in the comics that were played by people of a different ethnicity.
Yeah, that's kind of like the backlash they had with Johnny Storm being black in Fan 4 Stick, but that movie had its
reprising things about that.
That was the least of the movie's problems. It wasn't even really a problem in the movie itself. No,
Fuck.
there was so much. There was so much
That-
more.
That was just a lot of studio interference, putting too many fingers in pies that don't belong,
Mhm.
exactly.
instead of letting the director do their thing.
Yeah.
I
This is
just,
why micromanagement is bad, people.
I just found
Kind of like what David
particularly-
Ayer tried to do with Suicide Squad.
Hmm. I just found with Laura Harrier, although she was, like I say, although she was great, she kind of felt like she didn't really need to be there. It was like, if you took the romance angle out of that movie, would it affect it at all?
Kind
I
of,
don't
not
know.
really.
Yeah, maybe
Not really.
because like she was kind of made to be Spider-Man's ultimate goal within the high school setting, whereas Iron Man is like his goal in the superhero setting.
Hmm.
So in a way, it's like he's trying to balance two goals and deciding to not being able to acquire either one by the end. Because that's what I really like with Spider-Man's character arc in the story is that by the end of the movie, he realized he's still, even though he has matured throughout the movie, he still has a lot more growing to do. So it's
Yeah.
nice that he did not acquire either goal, but instead is working on a better path for working in both worlds.
Yeah. And
Who
also,
else
I was really surprised.
Sorry.
Go on.
But like, who else reacted weird when they found out that Liz was the Vulture's daughter?
Oh yeah, I was like,
That was a weird.
Like, what the hell?
it was kind of spoiled for me, but when I saw the movie, I completely forgot about that spoiler. So when that scene came up, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Like,
even Tom Holland was able to capture that moment perfectly.
No! He was all like, "Oh shit." He even thought, "Oh no, how'd you find out about me? Where's Liz? Is she okay?"
You know, we talk about character maturity. If you look at how Tony Stark was in the first Iron Man movie to how he is now, it's really ironic that the arrogant playboy philanthropist has gone from being a complete narcissist and reckless and irresponsible to him being the mature, responsible role model for Spidey in this movie, with him having being the moral compass. You think, wow, that's a real turnaround.
Yeah.
Even he himself is surprised. He's like, "God, I'm starting to sound like my father."
And Robert Downey Jr., he's another one of those actors. He just doesn't age.
I know, right?
Although, it's interesting because obviously we've talked about Tom Cruise this evening. Originally, when the Iron Man movie, when it was held by Fox, Tom Cruise was slated to play Tony Stark.
Yeah, and he was asking for way too much money. That's why he didn't get the part.
Oh, so he did the Terrence Howard move before Terrence Howard did it.
Exactly.
Oh, is that why Brody was Don Cheadle in Iron Man 2?
Terrence Howard was for Iron Man 2. He was asking twice what Robert Downey Jr. was making, and Marvel simply said to him, "There's the door."
Hi, Don Cheadle. Come on in.
Oh, on Cinema Wins, not to be confused with our snarky and adorable rogue here. Apparently, in the courtroom scene, when Don Cheadle as Rhodey says, "I'm here," it's like, "I'm here now. Drop it." That was Marvel directly addressing the Terrence Howard audience. Oh.
I could tell.
Nice.
Well,
Right
that's
on.
some brass balls.
Yep. Right on. You're up. Oh. Oh, he's actually gone on. He's gone off for a second. Whilst we wait for him to come back, I may as well regale Kaiji with some of the bits that he wasn't here for.
Okay.
Because the Founder, I think you were interested in seeing, but I don't think you actually saw in the end, did you?
Right. I wasn't able to catch it, unfortunately.
I'll just go with this. I was intrigued by the idea of this movie from the first trailer, where we're told the little less than known story of how McDonald's came to be. You couldn't get better casting from Michael Keaton, easily turning in an Oscar performance as Ray Kroc, to Nick Offerman and John Carroll, respectively, as the McDonald brothers, who essentially get screwed out of the business they built from the ground up. Despite this flick having a modest budget of $7 million, has a real high production value from sets, wardrobe, and a real sense that you're in the 1950s. Also, the duet of Pennies from Heaven by Linda Cardellini and Michael Keaton is actually charming, as there's genuine chemistry in song and set with them. And also, this is the thing that shocked me when, and this even shocked my brother, when we were watching the end credits of all the other little bits and pieces that happened with McDonald's. There was a handshake agreement between Ray and the brothers before they sold their business off for $2.7 million in total, just so he could have the rights to the name.
Mm-hmm.
The handshake royalties to the McDonald's family today would be worth $100 million a year. That's
quite a lot of dough.
Very.
That's awkward.
All right, since Raiden's back, your 2 cents on Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I have to say, man, Marvel. I'm just so happy Marvel has Spider-Man for the time being, man. It's like, how long has it been since we want to see Spider-Man just team up with other heroes that we have in the comics? Movie wise itself, man, I just had a full blown blast. I mean, I haven't had this fun with the Spider-Man movie since Amazing Spider-Man 2012. You know,
Yeah.
It's just been one fun moment of another. Just Ned just finding out he was Spider-Man, just having dying of laughter.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I just really love the chemistry between the two. I just love the chemistry of all characters. And Adrian Toomes, aka Vulture, suit itself was amazing. You really feel bad for the guy even though he's a villain. I mean, I feel like that's what half of villains are like. They have to be sympathetic, but in the end, they have to do what they think is right. You know? So with this movie, I'm just happy that Spider-Man is included, and I'm just hoping for more heroes to just cross over everything, because unity is key with everything. So I'm just hoping for the future after Infinity War.
This is one of the things that Marvel has been able to do right with their cinematic universe, whereas Universal have binned their dark universe, and DC still trying to scramble around to try and figure out what works. Marvel have been building this from the ground up for years, just getting it right. I mean, we had at least 4 to maybe 5 standalone movies in the cinematic universe before we got to the first Avengers movie. You know, they built it up slowly to the point where you're made to wait for the first team up. Whereas with DC, before Batman v Superman, all we had was Man of Steel, and that was a 3-year gap between both movies. Now, I liked Man of Steel for what it was, for what it tried to set out to be. Batman v Superman, there are a lot of things that it does right, but there are a lot of things that it just does wrong, which Kaiju and myself were at length talking about in last year's panel. One of the things that we were very critical, how Batman and Superman both come across as hypocrites to each other.
Yeah.
How Bats is very critical about how Supes has come in and has the power to wipe people off the face of the planet, yet Batman's going around branding people, snapping necks, putting people in hospital. It's just... you know, you say one thing, then go do another. It's like, and then as I
And
said,
it's not like either is really addressed or called out for their BS.
and
Exactly.
And at least with Dark Knight Returns Part 2, at least they made Batman a likable figure, even though he had so many years of his belt just beating people close to death. But at least now, with his old age, he's more a little humble, and sometimes no, he has to do what needs to be done. With Superman now being like a government agent in that time period.
yeah. Oh, it's funny we talk about that because Ben Affleck is not committing to the role of Batman or not giving any confirmed definition whether he's going to return as the Dark Knight in the solo outing The Batman. They're screen testing other actors just in case Affleck says nay on it. Jake Gyllenhaal is in the running to replace him, which, all right, he looks similar to Affleck. I could... see you, Steven.
Who's this?
No, guys. Because he is working quite late tonight. Like I say, Gyllenhaal I could see working, and also should be noted, if Maguire hadn't recovered from his back injury in time, Gyllenhaal was set to replace Maguire for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, he was.
They kind of sort of do look alike, though. Not gonna lie.
They do.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The one actor that fans are calling for to replace Affleck if he doesn't come back, they want Michael Keaton back in the role. And I'm like,
What?
I don't know.
I mean, if they kind of want to go in like a Dark Knight, you know what? If they want to go in a Batman Beyond direction, I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Keaton as old Bruce Wayne.
Exactly, but as
But would Warner Brothers want to do that?
I mean, with Jake Gyllenhaal, at least the guy is. If anyone ever seen a little bit of Southpaw, the guy was jacked, and with him possibly Batman, I would definitely see him in the role.
Yeah. And I know how they can fix that. They could just, well, since the next Flash movie is going to be Flashpoint, they could just say that the freaking time stream changed his face.
Just fuck it.
Yeah.
You have the leeway. I mean, CW is already doing it with their version of Flashpoint.
Yeah,
And
they
it's like,
did.
all right, everybody, if you don't want to be part of the DC extended universe, here's your chance to leave now. And like Ben Affleck's the first one running out of the gate.
I mean,
And
pretty much what Kaiju said. If they turned Batman Beyond into a live-action movie, Keaton's perfect to play a retired Bruce Wayne because he's at the right age now. But to come back in and be Batman again, I mean, I got love for Keaton as Batman. He's my personal favorite, but I don't know. I'm not ageist or anything, but he can't go like that anymore.
no, we can't.
If he
I
did
mean-
do an older superhero, I'd say he'd probably make a decent Wildcat.
I mean, oh, that would definitely work. Well, I was gonna say he could try
Yeah,
and pull a Tom.
after all, he also did. Wildcat also did train Black Canary.
I was
Yeah.
also gonna say like he could try to pull a Tom Cruise and say, "I'm not old yet." I could
I
still do
get
it.
The only thing that I care about for this movie is for the future Batman movie is to put this character. Hold on, see if I get the camera.
Well, let me see. Let me see.
This bad boy.
Oh,
yes.
Deathstroke.
That's
Funny,
the only thing I care about.
he was in the post-credit scene of Justice League.
Yeah. And apparently,
I really like how they just. Okay, I really like how they paid homage to the Arkham Origins Deathstroke. I mean, that's personally my favorite look at Deathstroke of the whole character history.
and apparently the real Superman finally shows up where he goes, I like truth, but I'm also a big fan of justice. Is this guy still bothering you?
What?
A little bit.
So Superman finally starts to act like Superman again.
Apparently.
He's also
Time.
a Boy Scout style. Yeah, that's basically Superman in a nutshell.
Although,
yeah.
the bit that
Yeah, Soups was always a fun, loving, down-to-earth character who had a lot of faith in the people he protected and protected you regardless. If I remember right, there was a snippet when you see him appear in Superman Shazam, the animated anthology, when Black Adam goes, "Do you fight for the wizard?" He goes, "I fight for those who can't fight for themselves."
nice.
A little bit
Hmm.
before Billy Batson gets his powers to become Shazam.
Oh, by the way, was it George Newbern or Tim Daly that voiced Superman? Because
George Newbern. Tim Daly did it for Batman, Superman, Public Enemies, and Batman, Superman, Apocalypse. But for the Shazam anthology that had other shorts involving Jonah Hex and the Spectre and all that, that was George Newbern. Who's
Okay.
also a fun fact. If you've ever played Dissidia or Final Fantasy Crisis Core or the second Kingdom Hearts, he's Sephiroth.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yep. That's George Newbern's Sephiroth.
Superman is stuff. Oh God, I never thought I'd say that.
Although in the camera phone footage that's been uploaded to YouTube numerous times, I appreciate Soups had just been brought back from the dead for the context of the story, and it's just so out of character to hear him go, "You did this." It goes, and it just goes, "You won't let me live. You won't let me die. But does the world need you? Tell me, do you bleed?" And you hear the audience go lose their shit, and it's like, whoa.
Really? They did that?
He literally just says, no face, "Do you tell me? Do you bleed?" I'm like, what the hell, man?
Like, stop stealing Clark.
And what's wrong with your upper lip?
Yeah, they CG'd out his mustache.
Oh
they,
yeah,
they,
I heard
pulled, they
about
pulled a
that.
modern day Caesar Romero.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Except CG instead of heavy makeup.
Oh
Although-
god.
One thing I do like that I saw from the end credits that people have been uploaded to YouTube is there's an exchange between Clark and Bruce over by his parents' house over in Kansas, where he goes, "Thanks for doing this, Bruce. How did you how did you convince the bank to give my mom her house back?" He goes, "Oh, that's simple. I bought the bank."
Oh!
Because I'm Batman.
Oh dear.
Well, I did enjoy from the post-credit scene I saw on YouTube that the Flash and him had a race.
Yeah, he goes and says, "Oh, just so you know, if you lose this race, you're off the team." It's like, really? No. Bats told me to say that. He goes, "I feel betrayed."
No, Bruce said no, instead you're taking us out to brunch. That's probably like a running gag in the movie. I don't know. Didn't see it.
Maybe
It's
they'll
like,
have their own
I'm-
little version of the shawarma cafe.
Yeah.
And then then Clark asks, "Which coast?" And then Flash points, "I never seen the Pacific." And Clark points the other direction, which is that way. Okay, that seemed a little bit like Joss Whedon's writing right there, because which is that way.
I wonder if they're actually going to, you mentioned, have their version of the Shawarma Cafe. I wonder if they'll have a situation where they'll have Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck sitting opposite each other in the cafe, paying homage to how it should have ended.
That would be
Hilarious.
hilarious. I still remember the one where Superman's playing Pokemon Go and telling Batman all about it. Well, I have my own game I play. It's called Batman Go.
All right, we've put this one off long enough. Ending the movies to review for this year, Thor Ragnarok.
I did not see it.
Woo!
It's been some time since we've seen the Son of Odin on the big screen in a solo outing, and you get the sense that the character has really evolved over time. He still has the charming swagger of what made people fall in love with his character from 2010's Thor. This Drake, I love him, I love it. Another. But you get the sense there's an air of responsibility and mission driven in his search for the Infinity Stones that were first addressed in Avengers Age of Ultron from 2015. It felt odd to have elements of Planet Hulk and World War Hulk adapted into this, but I suppose it was one way of getting the character to have a big screen appearance, since the rights to all solo movies for him are still tied up with Universal. Ruffalo, to a degree, feels almost out of place in his role as Banner, as was he really needed here? Hulk was needed, and somewhat more comedically than his last few appearances, along with more dialogue, as opposed to Hulk smash or puny god. It was great to hear Rickner reprise his vocal role as the character that he performed so well in the 96 animated series that got unfairly cancelled. Thanks a lot, guys! Jeff Goldblum plays a decent comedic antagonist as the Grandmaster, and it's great to see him getting work once more. I eagerly await to see what he brings to the table next year as he reprises his role as Dr. Ian Malcolm for the first time in 21 years in Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom. Lydia.
Ooh. Holy crap. I had a blast with this movie. This was the best of the trilogy because it gave me the bit of the Jack Kirby roots. It was bright, it was bold, it was dazzling. This film was the one thing I've been waiting for since the last lackluster second half of Thor: The Dark World.
Mhm.
It left me with much to be desired. The direction of Taika Waititi was great. It fit the tone of the movie. And also, he did a good job as Korg. I did not expect him to be Korg. and I hope that there's more he has right now. Hopefully he has a good future ahead of him. Unless he touched somebody, which I hope not.
And
Okay, Hemsworth did great for
A
his role.
note to Hollywood: don't touch anyone or anything.
Hemsworth was good again. He had a bit of a comedic tone to him, especially in the opening scene where he's dealing with Surtur. It's like it was fun. He did a good job. He had comedic flair, but also showed the heart of Thor that he always has.
Yep.
Loki, again, Tom Hiddleston knocks it out of the park yet again. He has a lot of comedic moments, especially when he reacts to seeing Hulk for the first time since Avengers. I need to get off this planet.
You're like, yeah, now you know how it feels.
Yeah. And him, and I know that I'm one of the few people that actually like Ruffalo in there as Hulk, even though it's kind of wedged him in there. I liked it. It's like it fit, it worked, and paying off Ruffalo, they were kind of like polar opposites, but it worked for what it was. They had a lot of comedic scenes, especially when in the ship where they're trying to get well, they find the broken Quinjet, and it's like, you cut your hair. It looks nice. Thank you. and of course, his interaction, his performance as Hulk was fun. It's like he had a performance of a petulant child, where it's like, I don't like you. You're stupid. I had fun with that. And we saw something we didn't need to see. Hulk butt. Tessa Thompson.
I don't know, man. I've been waiting for that. I haven't had enough Hulk butt since the 2003 movie.
Oh God, no! Tessa Thompson was good as Valkyrie, and I love that we got an LGBTQ character in the MCU. I think there's another one, but I'm not really sure if that is. I'm probably blanking on the name. But
Oh yeah.
it's showing that she's a broken soldier after what happened with Hela, and
Mhm.
because it's implied that the woman who saved her life was actually her lover.
Oh.
In that
Okay, so
movie.
did they confirm that like behind the scenes interviews?
I think they did. I'm not really sure. I think they confirmed.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of
beautifully rendered freaking shot
Mhm.
flashback, which was out of a painting. Compared to like the opening scene of Wonder Woman where we get the backstory of Themyscira, but it's like, can we have more of that, please? Can we have more of that? Jeff Goldblum was a treat in this movie. He played it over the top, and he had his Goldblumisms, and it worked for the movie. I kind of like that. And surprising enough, we got a comedic performance from Carl Urban, of all people, as Scourge, where it's like, the first scene is where he's introducing us to his swag that he got from the critics. I got these two. One's Tex. No, one name is Duh, and one is Troy. I got them in Texas.
Oh yeah, that was him. He was the executioner.
Yep.
Oh wow,
funny.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And the coup de grace was Kate Blanchett as probably one of the best March villains thus far.
Mhm.
And especially in the best in Phase 3 as Hela. You understand her motivations as to why she's doing it. We find out she's Thor's other daughter, an eldest daughter, and the rightful heir to the Asgardian throne, which kind of throws Thor for a loop. Also, she breaks his hammer, which kind of adds to the badness.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and it was fun. She was fun. She chewed up the scenery, but not as much as Elizabeth Banks did as Rita.
Mhm.
It was a fun flick, and I'm looking forward to what Phase 3 has to offer next. And I'm waiting for Infinity War. Let's go. Let's do this.
Mhm. Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Kaiju.
All right. If there was ever a film that could capture the over-the-top, zany, and vivid sci-fi, fantasy, space operas of the 80s, like Flash Gordon, Star Wars, or even Dune to an extent, Thor Ragnarok would probably be it. The movie indulges in its own ludicrousy and it is not ashamed of it one bit. We have Thor back again, this time with most of his supporting cast from the first two films gone, and now replaced with a ragtag group of ass-kicking warriors, including a gladiator, back-talking Hulk, a drunken former Valkyrie, and the mischievous yet charming Loki, as they take on the forces of both the Goddess of Death and the one and only Jeff Goldblum. Both actors, both Kate Blanchett and Jeff Goldblum give immensely charismatic performances. However, nothing can top the wonderful enthusiasm of Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster. The set designs, the costumes, and even the color palette are a beautiful arrangement of neon colors that bring a much-needed new look to the recent MCU films with their drab, desaturated tones. Alongside the visuals, we got ourselves a techno synthwave score that brings out that 80s feel. Finally, the movie brings us a variety of locations and set pieces for its action scenes, so you're never left feeling bored. If there's one thing that did bother me, it was the abrupt changes to both Thor and Hulk's personalities in order for them to adapt to this campier tone. Thor suddenly becomes a bit like Spider-Man, as he would throw quips around here and there during the first half of the film, but he thankfully drops it as he becomes the straight man of his team. Hulk now talks and backsasses a lot, and for whatever reason, Thor never reacts to this. As much as I like the talking, bratty Hulk, which might have been a throwback to the 60s comic book version, this change is sure to cause many eyebrows to raise. Thor Ragnarok isn't a movie that's going to change the face of superhero movies or reinvent the wheel, but it still manages to give off an energetic vibe that's campy, cheesy, unabashedly corny. If you're someone who enjoyed a film like Kung Fury, then I suggest giving this 80s throwback a look.
Yeah, I agree with that. In full. Oh, no thing I didn't pick up on until much later after I'd seen the movie. The actor playing the Odin actor at the start of the movie, Sam Neill.
Yeah, he did play Odin.
That
In the
threw
play.
me for a little bit of a loop.
Oh, also Matt Damon was Loki.
No. It's Matt Damon.
Matt
Damon.
Ow. Navi. Look at kitty.
And also the guy who played Thor in the play was actually Chris Hemsworth's older brother.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why he kind of looked like him. I'm like, oh shit, really?
Bad. Lydia, did you give your
Anybody want to talk about this Doctor Strange cameo?
That was cool.
Fun, especially when he brought back Loki. I'd be like, I've been falling for 30 minutes.
Or I just like Thor's reaction. Oh, so Earth has wizards again.
And that every time that he would freaking teleport, like he'd end up in a
more of his beer falls off, but spills.
doing that. I love that.
Lydia, did you give your 2 cents?
Yes, I did.
All right, Raiden, you're up.
Well, I hate to say it, but I regret not seeing this one because, from what I've heard, the whole '80s throwback is just the tip of the tongue when it comes to Marvel movies. When I eventually see it, I'm just in for a ride, like I see with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm really interested to see that Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. I mean, when I read about her in the comics, I'm like, oh, okay, she's a badass, and I really like the whole. I'm a stickler for character designs, so with her and how Gladiator Hook look, I'm just looking I'm just can't wait to see it, especially with Hulk. And from what I've heard, there's a Frost Giant, I believe.
Stone Giant.
Stone Giant.
Yeah,
Stone Giant.
Korg.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to see what it brings, because for me, I'm just marathoning any Marvel movie that came out in 2017, because I'm just pumped up for Infinity War like everyone is, like, and to just and for every person like, oh, destroy it, take that, DC. I mean, come on, guys. We all want to see.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
We all want to
Can we
see
enjoy both?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, come on, guys. Can we just enjoy both? I mean, let's be fair.
Impartial.
Yeah, it's like fandoms. It's true what they say. Fandoms sometimes ruin everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, here's an upside with DC. At least with animated wise, they kill it every single time, you know. And Marvel, especially with the new Spider-Man that's going on at Disney XD, is not doing well, I've heard.
Yeah, from what I heard. Yeah, I kind of stopped watching it after a while. I'm like, I'm bored.
Yeah, same here. It's like, at least DC gets it with animated Empire, and I'm just waiting to see the new Young Justice. That's something I've been waiting for. I don't know how long it got canceled, and it's just a matter of time. I'm just every single year. Yeah, every single year, I just want to see every superhero thing goes well, you know.
Yeah.
So from what I heard with Thor Ragnarok, I just can't wait to see it, and I'm just glad it's getting the praise it deserves. Because let's be fair, some people say they like Thor, but sometimes like, yeah, he's cool, but we're not friends. So from what I've heard with this, I just can't wait to see it. So that's all I gotta say.
Okay.
I know there was some controversy surrounding Tessa Thompson being cast as Valkyrie, and one thing I made the point of in my standalone review when I filmed that a couple of weeks back. It's actually the only new review I've done so far for season 9 of Real Features. Is that I just comment on the fact on her performance, because one of the things I don't get into with my movie reviews is the politics of what goes on, and I think it's something that should stay out of movies, because at the end of the day, we're just here to be entertained. And you know, I get that Valkyrie was different in the comics, and here she's being presented in a new representation. It's like, okay, you know, if you don't like it that bad, then don't watch the movie. Simple as that. But it is what it is. You get people complaining about things that don't need to be complained about these days, but then people be complaining about the complaining, and they're complaining about the complaining. I'm like, grow up.
Politics in a nutshell, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
When did you see this one? Apparently not. When? You okay? Ooh. Well, that doesn't sound good.
She does. I think she sounds like she has the hiccups or something.
Ooh, I hate them.
Yeah.
Try drinking water and holding your nose. That cures my hiccups.
Yeah, that's always a painful attempt.
Should we move on?
Yeah. Well, since Infinity Wars has been brought up, I think most of us have seen the trailer by now, and
I've seen it like 50
Yeah,
times.
oh boy.
2 to 3.
I'm certainly hyped as hell for it.
Well, me too. I think I even did a reaction of it of the freaking trailer on my channel. It's not very good,
Excuse me.
but it is. It's just me spazzing out. I'm like, holy shit.
It's just like 10 minutes straight of Ermagirds.
Hey, as long as it's better than the original teaser that Marvel put out, at least you get that raw emotion instead of force fed stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's
And Chris Evans, his beard game is on point in that movie.
Oh yeah, doing the ultimate Solid Snake cosplay.
All he needs is an eye patch. Oh wait, don't give them ideas. Never mind.
Or a bandana.
Snake. Snake.
and it's the fact that the Guardians are going to join up with the Avengers finally.
Oh yeah, that last
know.
shot, I was like, oh shit.
Crossovers on
I
board.
laughed.
That's what I love.
Yes.
I laughed when I saw that. I'm like, who the hell are you guys? And then Star-Lord's like, really?
I remember when IGN put out that
What?
parody. Yeah, IGN did a parody of that. Instead of Marvel characters, they did Disney characters.
Oh, okay. I think I may have seen an article just passing by on Facebook.
Oh my god. No, it's funny. It's like I actually saw this like trailer of like Justice League, but done with Nicktoons characters.
Hmm.
It's hilarious. I think I can actually send the link, and it's pretty funny. Butch Hartman did it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Bush Hartman.
One movie I'm going to be looking forward to getting
Abby,
next year
come here,
on
kitty.
Blu. One movie we look forward to next year again on Blu-ray is Batman versus Two-Face, which will be Adam West's final
Ah.
performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
And apparently,
just-
from what I hear, Will Shatner knocked out of the park as Two-Face.
Oh, that's good to
Ooh.
hear.
But apparently, it's going to be people are going to be more drawn to the fact that this is the last time you'll ever hear Adam West as Bats.
Yeah. Well, at least he was fortunate enough to replay his iconic role not once but twice before he left this world. So way to go! Way to go out on a bang, West.
Apparently, one of the things, I mean, IGN of all people actually gave it a strong review, which I thought, whoa, steady there, guys.
It's IGN in the end of the day. I mean, they over exaggerate everything. Like,
I mean, they make the point of saying you can tell, from the get-go that West's, Ward's, and Julie Newmar's voices have aged, but after a while you just get drawn in by the charm of their recognizable voices and what have you, and it's just like, it just glosses over it. You don't even notice it after a while.
Not so much of my experience with the first film.
Oh. I brought the first movie home. I think either more or less this time last year or earlier this year. We couldn't stop laughing for a small while with all these subtle references to things like the animated series, the Michael Keaton years, or particularly one moment where Bats has been hit across the head and he sees the 3 different versions of Catwoman from the TV series. I thought, okay, that's well done. That's so well done. Or just to hear Adam West goes, "You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts."
Or like, this is an operating table, and I'm the surgeon.
Oh dear God.
Oh my god. Well, the fact that he had anti-spray to this and anti-spray that, you think it's so stupid, but it's just like it works.
Yeah, how he always had those universal antidotes in his utility belt, just for everything. But
Shark repellent.
that's what I loved about the show. It was so campy, cheesy, and fun.
It's funny thing you bring up the shark repellent in the Lego Batman movie. It actually works. I'm not kidding. It actually works. Because at first he's like, "Oh, that doesn't really work." Then he actually uses it on the show. Goes, "Oh, damn, it does."
Maybe.
One of the things that not too many people picked up on in that movie is when they go to the Fortress of Solitude. Some people are actually saying, what is that musical score in the background? I'm like, it's like if you know your Christopher Reeve Superman movies, you'll know that's the score from when he reaches the Fortress of Solitude the first time round in the first movie. And they're like, oh shit, it is. Although me and Random got a kick out of it when he's going by the orphanage and he's honking his horn. You can hear da 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 da. Just being a complete narcissist. It's sad when a movie about Legos does a Batman movie better than Batman versus Superman. But then again, they didn't have Zack Snyder at the helm, so that says a lot. Mind you, on the subject of movies for next year, I mean, we touched upon with Chris Pratt showing up at the end of the Infinity War trailer. Next year's Jurassic World 2.
Hmm.
It'd be interesting to see where they go with that.
Yeah.
Looks
Especially
good.
with a subtitle like Fallen Kingdom. At the time, we really don't know what's going to happen because there's yet to have been like a proper trailer for it. Although it will be interesting to see like what sort of idea they'll be going with failed park and another PR disaster for the JP company.
Well, apparently they're taking the dinosaurs off the island. I'm like, oh gee, where have we seen this done before?
The canceled script for Jurassic Park 4.
Maybe, but apparently the main reason they're taking the dinosaurs off the island is apparently the volcano on Isla Nublar is becoming active again. I'm like, okay, that's a little bit out of the blue. All right. The other subplot that we're hearing is Owen's going back to Nublar to actually get Blue off the island, which, okay, but not like he's going back for a dog. I mean, Blue is still a wild and dangerous animal, even though he has some control over her. So that's going to look a little weird. And of course, the other thing that we're hearing is the introduction of the Indoraptor, which is basically the I-Rex at raptor size, which that could be more deadly than the I-Rex because this thing can actually hide in smaller places and be there when you're not thinking about it. So that could be weird. Although the one movie I'm interested in seeing that's coming out January is Gary Oldman in a dramatic reenactment of Winston Churchill's operation as Prime Minister during D-Day. And the funny thing is, in the trailer, I actually had to take a second look because the only thing I recognized about Oldman in the prosthetic makeup was just his eyes. I mean, I could hear in the voice it was him, but the makeup is done so well to make him look like Churchill, like you'd swear it was him. But then again, just shows you how good prosthetic makeup has gotten in the last few decades. Although, that said, with regards to making people look older than they actually are, I don't think I've seen anything done better since the prosthetic makeup that was used for Back to the Future's Part 1 and Part 2, respectively. Especially the way they had Lorraine Baines McFly made up for the original 1985 that Marty was in, and then when he comes back to the altered future, I mean, the work they did to make Leah Thompson look 20 years older than she actually is, it's like, whoa, gay. But that's a reason why that movie has held up so well in the last 32 years, because they knew what they were doing back then. These days, not so much. Don't really know too many other movies that are coming out for next year.
I guess I have two that I'm definitely looking forward to the most. One would be Pacific Rim Uprising. Being a fan of the first Pacific Rim movie, and I was pretty much had my fingers crossed for a sequel, despite its poor performance in America. Very happy that it's getting another chance, and seems like all the pieces are set for another action-filled giant monster, giant robot slugfest, and I can't wait to see it. The other one I'm kind of excited about, but more on the tentative side, like more on like the cautiously optimistic side, would be the Rampage movie, because again, I'm kaiju noir for a reason. Giant monsters are my thing. For those who don't know, giant robots and monsters. So I've definitely been being a monster fan. I've been a fan of the Rampage games ever since Rampage World. I played Rampage World Tour on the Nintendo 64, and I was a little disappointed that this movie seems to kind of take itself a bit more seriously, as opposed to being a stylistic comedy. I feel like Rampage would have worked so much better as like a stylized comedy, like Tim Burton's Mars Attacks, where it's like weird, strange, surreal, quirky. But instead, it's kind of going for like this generic, brown, dull San Andreas action movie feel. But hopefully this can be something more than just an action movie with The Rock and three giant monsters. Hopefully there might be some sort of comedic edge to this, especially with a few funny lines from The Rock here and there, where it's like, you know what we need right now? A giant crocodile. Yeah, that's what I was thinking we needed right now. And so it does, at the very least, look like a big, dumb, stupid action movie. And I think I would also be fine with just that, just like a movie that knows it's silly and then just goes to town with it. Kind of like the Fast and Furious movies, you know, when they're not having these emotional moments with each other, you know, they're just throwing cars left and right in all these crazy stunts where it's like, it's big, it's dumb, it's silly, it's over the top, and it just rolls with it. And hopefully, if they're going to go with a straight action movie with Rampage, I hope that they would at least go along with that. Yeah.
I remember random saying something to the effect of, particularly with like cheesy 80s action movies like Commando, for example, where it's so bad it's good. It's like the movie is in on the joke and it's just having fun with it rather than trying to take itself uber seriously.
Right. That's what I'm hoping for with Rampage. I mean, Pacific Rim definitely knows that, and it's just, you know, one big love letter to all of these, you know, big giant monster and robots fiction in the past, and it is I love it because of that, and I'm hoping that Rampage can do that as well.
I lost my train of thought for a second. One movie that we still need to see from DC is a sequel to Man of Steel, because all these other movies are popping up, yet Superman's yet to get a sequel.
Yeah, apparently Aquaman is next.
Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea how that's going to turn out.
Apparently that one's going to be more on the lines of a horror movie than a superhero movie.
I thought that was the New Mutants from Fox.
That's what I'm kind of looking forward to be honest. Cool to see, like, we have seen in
comics like Wolfsbane.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I mean, I'm just at the point. I'm just waiting for a new X-Force movie because personally, that's my favorite subgroup.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll make an X-Force spin-off after Deadpool 2 with Cable.
Oh yeah, because Deadpool 2 is supposed to be out next year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Oh, and of course, February being like Black History Month. That's Black Panther. That's what gets everybody.
Yeah.
attention.
The trailer looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad Black Panther's getting his own movie. I really am.
Yeah, it's been so long, you know. Like Civil War, we just really want to see what he can really do solo. And so far, the trailers have been going and photos have been going. It's just been fun ride.
By himself, well, of course with his people and his female guard. So glad they got.
Hey, better humans. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. And they got Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger, who's like, damn, okay.
Then again, Michael B. Jordan's just a good actor. One thing I did find out, I don't know if this is 100% legitimate, but pretty daringly evident bits for the Sonic movie that's coming now in 2019, and it sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a mixture of the classic games and adventure.
Oh,
Not too bad.
I'm still looking
Interesting.
at that one. Mine's about it because it's Sony behind it.
Oh no, it's Paramount now. Sony dropped it.
I thought I was concerned.
Apparently, the three main Sonic characters being used from the good guys will be Sonic, which will be a mixture of how he is in the games, but a little bit of maybe from Adventures of a little bit, because he's still snarky, but he's not full on arrogant, narcissistic, which I thought, okay, he's being a free spirit, I can get with that. Tails is his mechanical assistant, and Amy, they're apparently they're treating her more as a close friend, but has a crush on Sonic. So I think the writers have taken a hint. It's like, okay, let's have her back away from the creepy fangirl stalker thing, because I think people have had enough of that now. Robotnik is going to be played by a live actor, and I think that's the only way that's going to work.
I elect Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is a thing I wrote years ago. If this was being an animated movie, the one person who would have been good as Robotnik is Danny DeVito. I could see it.
Okay.
But apparently what they're doing, they're going to have a brand new character called Clark, who is a photographer from a big version of America, journeying over to South Island, where the main city is Station Square, that has the population of humans and what they're referring to Sonic's kind as animal people. They don't give any specific indication as what their species are called. They're just referred to as animal people. Sonic saves Clark from Robotnik's capture, who is a weapons manufacturer in the story. Which I thought, okay, there's a warning sign right there. And Rouge is in the story, but she's the owner of a casino, which I thought, okay, that's
I can see that.
it's a little bit different. And
Wait.
That would be something to make her happy.
Yeah.
The other thing I've been told is no Knuckles.
Oh.
So they have Rouge, but no
Okay.
Knuckles.
The Echidna race are mentioned by name, But
I guess they want to save the Sonic 3 storyline for a sequel.
yeah, they do show how Sonic how gets his love of chili dogs, which I thought, okay, gotta have something more or less reference, but I don't know. It looks like the people who are writing this look as though they're trying to cram in enough references, but not trying to force it. If that makes any sense, it's trying to make it look like, oh, okay, I recognize this bit. Oh, I recognize this bit as well. So,
Well,
Mhm.
Paramount is the studio that gave us the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I'm rather optimistic.
Will it be CGI though? That's the real question.
the
Well, we'll have to see, I guess.
Sonic characters are going to be CG, but the human characters are going to be live action actors.
Oh goody.
Well, here's the thing: the people that are doing the CG for the Sonic characters are the same people who did the CG for Sonic Unleashed. And
Okay.
if you think these
That's about.
CG cutscenes for Sonic Unleashed, that was Marzipan who did that, who are actually owned by Sega.
Hmm.
So I can at least see that being competent. Um, some have argued that Sonic doesn't need a movie. I would disagree. I think it's just one of those things that maybe just to see once if it can be done properly. And if it's done properly, then we can go into a franchise. But
Hmm.
I think it's smart that they've waited this long just so technology can catch up to be able to present the vision that they want for this character. Because I think if you had to try and get live action actors to do the characters justice, I don't think it would look right. Because you would either have to get actors that are about 4'5", or actually rewrite Sonic's height description to where he's something like 5'7" or 6 foot.
I guess you could always pull off another Howard the Duck.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
God no.
Never actually saw that movie. I hear some people say it's so bad it's good, and there's others that are like, ugh.
It's weird. It's watchable, but it's weird. But at the same time, the first thing that fucking hit my mind was they did a close up on, I guess, one of Howard's neighbors before one of the
Oh,
bigger
God, I
scenes,
think
and
I
you see the boobies because she's taking a bath.
duck boobs. Duck boobs.
God, do not need no duck boobs. No.
I think Nostalgia Critic made a song plagiarizing the DuckTales where he goes, "So duck tits, whoa."
Yes, yes, he did.
I don't know. They did. I think he went on to mention that there was supposed to be a character that was singing at Rouge's casino called Madonna, who then looks at Sonic for a few moments, which I thought, oh, so they're referencing what could have happened in the first game, because in the first game he was supposed to have a human girlfriend.
Called Madonna, right?
Yeah, but that was also when he also had fangs as well, which I thought, okay,
Sonic went through quite a bit of a design marvel there.
he did.
And apparently, Tails was originally supposed to be a girl.
Yeah. Although, funny thing, you mentioned that in one fan comic that someone had done, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, they actually went with that idea. Um, where just the idea where Tails had basically said she kept it quiet from everyone, and then I think the writer of that comic said, "Oh, and Shadow got her pregnant," which I thought, okay, that's weird. This is what
Yeah,
happens.
Shadow, that's a no-no. Be
This is
it
what happens.
a boy or a girl, Tails is still technically 11 years old.
This is what happens when you give people ideas. I mean, I'm all for trying new ideas, but there, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. That's just, yeah, no. Mind you, talking about comics, but keep in mind, Tyson Hesse started out as a comic artist, and look what he's doing now. He was actually the one who animated the opening piece for Sonic Mania. Because if you recall, years ago, he was the one that did the webcomic Sonic R. I think that was on DeviantArt years ago, and he actually did the cover art for the first IDW Sonic. Which I thought, okay, just shows what happens on the internet. You can get recognized.
Nice to see where he ended up.
Well, similar thing with Stealth and Taxman. They ended up making like ROM hacks and fan Sonic games, and they ended up getting hired by Sega, and they did the better Sonic game compared to Sonic Forces.
Mm-hmm. Funny how life works out.
Well, I want to come in to do the 3D Sonic games, and it has to be said, the current Sonic team have got to go. They have to, because I'll say this much: Forces is not terrible. It's a huge step above Sonic 06, but compared to, say, something like Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Generations, it's a step below. I was going to say, aside from Infinity Wars and Jurassic World 2, there doesn't really seem, and of course Deadpool 2, there doesn't really seem to be too much coming up for next year.
Let's see. I got a list of movies here. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp. I was surprised that's coming out next year.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. It's a romantic.
Nice. That'll definitely give it a different spin from the usual MCU stuff we've seen. The Han Solo spin-off movie.
Yes.
We have the Incredibles 2, finally.
Yeah.
We have
Nice.
Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One.
I'm very intrigued. That looks.
I'm very intrigued by that
Looks
because of I've heard about the ending, and I don't know if you guys want me to spoil the ending of the book, at least, because it's so crazy. I doubt they can do this. I doubt Spielberg can do this, because there are so many Japanese copyrighted characters here for the ending.
Ooh.
So in the ending of the book, spoiler alert, the characters, they go into this, obviously it takes place in a virtual reality world, and each world has a bunch of licensed characters. So the ending takes place on planet Tokusatsu. For those who don't know, Tokusatsu is the Japanese term for special effects. And it's a bunch of like Japanese characters from like anime and like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, all this stuff. And so the main character, the main villain, or like the main rival, he ends up piloting Mechagodzilla. And the main character turns into Ultraman.
Oh.
So if you see the cover,
it
if you see the cover of the book, it kind of spoils it right off the bat. So it's not that big of a surprise. So you have like the main character and the main rival going against each other as Ultraman and Mechagodzilla.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's like, it's like, ooh, this is something up my alley. But yeah, I doubt they would even have something like that for the. I doubt they can even do something like that. Even if whoever's making this has all the money in the world. I think there may have also been like an appearance of the Gundam, where it's like maybe Mechagodzilla goes up against a Gundam before the main character turns into Ultraman. Let's
That'd be
see.
so
I know
cool.
there's this poster. Let's see if I can find that poster. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how I mean, maybe for all we know, the people behind the movie, they'll just make up new characters as homages to those Japanese characters. So it's like, oh, it's not Mechagodzilla versus not Ultraman. And I just sent a link to the okay, it's not really the cover of the book, but I guess it's like a fan poster.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Let's see. As for other movies coming out, oh yeah, we have Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Finally.
That's coming out this year?
Yeah, no, next year.
Ooh.
We have the Predator.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, I can't. Man, I've missed the Predator for so long. So I really want to see what the Predator is up to now.
Mm-hmm. We have Meg, based off of the giant shark novel of the same name that's been in development hell for many years.
Shut up, Meg.
Wait for that.
And meanwhile, the giant shark Megalodon is like, oh. Let's see. We have Mission Impossible 6. No, seriously, Tom Cruise is still not old.
Oh my god. Oh, and Henry Cavill's.
Let's see if I can find a clip of something like that.
Henry Cavill wouldn't shave his mustache.
Yeah. Apparently, we're having Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard about
We have Tomb Raider, based off of the recent
Oh, yeah.
incarnation.
I've seen the trailer. It actually looks pretty good, especially since it does look like it's following the reboot,
Mhm.
the first one.
I think I saw an advertisement in Japan, and they're calling it Tomb Raider First Mission. Let's see, which at least, the subtitle helps distinguish it from the Angelina Jolie movies. We have the stop-motion animated movie Isle of Dogs, which seems that it was made by the same people who made the Fantastic Mr. Fox. So it's kind of like that strange yet quirky and original feel to it. We have Ocean's 8, which is the all-female spin-off of the Ocean's 11 series.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard Rihanna's supposed to be in that one.
We have Hotel Transylvania, where the characters go on a cruise because... it was called Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. Because if you don't know what you want your characters to do, have them go on a trip.
Right.
Let's see.
There's another franchise that didn't need to be a franchise.
Sad part is Andy Tarkovsky's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it should be good then, because I will admit, Hotel Transylvania was great. Hotel Transylvania 2 was okay, so this one could be good. Just, Miss Pascal, shut the fuck up and let Gendy do his thing.
Oh yeah, apparently. Go ahead.
And keep Adam Sandler out of the room. Fuck him out.
Apparently, X-Men Dark Phoenix is going to be a thing this next year.
Wow.
I don't. Well,
I'm not really
I'm having
about
second
that.
thoughts. Yeah.
I'm nervous about that because I love the Dark Phoenix saga, and it's like I feel like they're gonna ruin it, like they ruined it the last time.
Hmm.
Well, to be fair, Brett Ratner was the director to the last one, so if we're lucky, this one will have a competent director. Because, yeah, some people found Apocalypse hit or miss, but you gotta admit they at least tried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
And they did made one of my favorite X-Men characters relevant again, Psylocke.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Let's see. This is weird. We got Holmes and Watson, played by Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, directed by Ethan Cohen.
Okay.
I guess because we need another Sherlock Holmes movie.
Because
Uh,
I was gonna say, why not at least Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law again?
I guess it's made by another team, another studio. Because Sherlock Holmes is a public domain character.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
We have another Jungle Book movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Let's see.
This one's gonna be with Benedict Cumberbatch as Shere Khan, which I can see him enjoying that a tiny bit too much.
Oh yeah, apparently the what do you call it? The Tom Hardy Venom movie is supposed to come out next year in October.
I'm on the fence.
Fox trying to be stupid. I mean, Sony trying to be stupid.
I'll bite the bullet
Yeah.
and see it for everyone.
We have 50 Shades Freed, in case any of you
No,
are hoping to see
fuck
how that.
no.
Let's
No,
fuck that franchise
no,
up
Fuck that
better,
franchise.
bruh.
Fuck that franchise. And I don't mean literally, I mean figuratively.
God.
Funny thing.
We have the sequel for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh
Okay,
god.
I might be interested in seeing that because, from what I understand, the first one is actually quite charming.
Mm-hmm. And let's see. Oh yeah, and finally this one movie whose trailer recently dropped, Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As someone who read the book, I definitely have a lot of fond memories having it be required reading back in, I want to say, high school or junior high school.
Yeah.
Or maybe even elementary school, maybe. But unfortunately, looking at the trailer alone, it doesn't really feel all that special. Especially where like the book itself was so surreal and had that dreamlike quality. Yet the movie itself just feels like another CGI fantasy movie. Like it doesn't really have anything that's very unique or anything that really stands out.
Oh, funny thing about the first 50 Shades of Grey movie, I don't know how legitimate this particular news article is, because this came from, I think, a New Zealand article. Apparently, for the female audience going into the movie, they actually laid down plastic covering on the seating.
Ew. Ew.
Oh, that's just nasty.
Boy. Hey.
Um,
Oh, you nasty.
I'm reading that thinking, what the hell, guys? Seriously.
Boy.
As
So yeah, those are.
that's just nasty.
So yeah, I think those are most of the highlights for the upcoming year.
Interesting.
Yeah, more sequels, more adaptations, but hopefully we can only hope that they'll be good in the end.
Hmm.
So
Because after all,
closing,
why would you
the
want a movie
movies
to
were
be
good.
bad? Yeah.
Well, we can get a bad movie that it's so bad it's good.
Or just
Was there anything
constantly
like that? Was there anything like that this year?
Really, most of the bad movies were like just bad.
Uh-huh.
There are especially a lot of bad horror movies that came, especially the ones that come out in January.
Mm-hmm.
January.
That's when
alright.
everything.
Or it's like, as Red Letter Media like
speaking
to
of
call it.
January,
Yeah.
isn't Hellboy supposed to come out next year in January?
Oh yeah, maybe not next year. Let's see, when is the new Hellboy coming out? Some check. Nah, it can't be 2018 already. Oh shit! According to IMDb, that is another 2018 movie, Hellboy.
That's going. Oh, that's that January. That's always the kill list when it comes to movies. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to
So far,
horror,
there's
horror
no
films.
right. Let's see. So far, no release date.
Actually, I'm looking forward to the new Hellboy movie. I want to see what David Harbour does with the role of Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's understandable
I mean-
why Del Toro and Ron Perlman walked away, because they were given the offer of doing a third Hellboy movie, but the budget would be drastically low. And given the ending of the last movie, they were hinting at something bigger and more apocalyptic. So they knew that they couldn't just half-ass it with a low budget. So they said, okay, let's just make another reboot and make it smaller.
Yeah, Del
Damn
Toro's
shame,
known to
because-
be a bit of a perfectionist.
It's a damn shame, because I really wanted to see more of Hellboy animated stuff, because Hellboy Sword of Storms and Blood and Iron were pretty fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of animation, the second Godzilla anime is going to be coming out in March. No, May of next year. We already have the first anime movie in Japan right now, and it'll come out on Netflix worldwide. And the sequel, because it's part of a planned anime trilogy, the sequel will be coming out in half a year from now, at least in Japan.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think they were thinking, we're going to lower the budget. We're going to make you do it with shadow puppets.
Just do it creatively. Like,
the entire movie taking place on the front of a screen and just hands are in the air.
just do it creatively, like Gremlins 2, where you can actually get a gremlin to a shadow puppet of Abraham Lincoln. Only to get the
I
movie,
would actually enjoy that.
only to get the movie resumed by Hulk Hogan when in nicer memories of Hulk Hogan.
Don't make me do you, Gremlins, like I did to Gawker.
Oh, God, no.
Raiden, do me a favor just to see if that actually is blocked your end, because I've actually found the clip in question.
okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, you're good.
This is the reaction from Justice League after Superman's brought back from the dead, quote unquote. Just need to hear your reaction.
Ooh.
Alright. Okay.
Here we go. Oh, no. Send me the link now.
Oh yeah, go. Of course, yeah, you're on Skype as well. Hang on.
Okay, that was funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, but gee.
Oh my god.
Literally trying to make him play Dark Superman.
Oh my god. The only Dark Superman that actually worked was when he fooled everybody in Superman vs. the Elite.
Oh, yeah. I'm watching it right now. Let me see this. Good gravy. Stop buffering, you wheel. God. And what the fuck? Oh no! Why?
I just found another piece. I'm not sure if this is official art.
Why?
I just found another piece of.
His lip though.
Yeah, the lip itself does look a little off.
Yeah, I was like, it's just him making a funny face the whole time.
Why don't they just let him keep the mustache instead? He comes back with mustache.
Or just give him a whole beard.
Yeah, give him a Captain America beard.
Yeah.
Beard soaking.
Oh no!
Clark.
This is supposed to be evil Superman, so of course he needs to have the mustache. I'm evil Superman. I'm his evil twin brother. Ultraman. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right.
There
Crime
was
Syndicate.
Why
actually
you
an
start-
Ultraman in Earth 2.
True.
Yeah, Crime Syndicate, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
And,
Crime Syndicate.
I found the another piece of fan art. I'm not sure if it's fan art or official art of the ending of Ready Player One. So there's the link right there.
Alright, let's see what we got here. Holy shit!
Nice.
Oh my god, I hope they pull this off, but I know they won't.
Nah, they can't. There's no fucking
Oh
way.
Oh, dude. Got the Mario Mushroom as well.
That's the Mario Mushroom right there.
Oh, dude.
Now all we need is Goku.
You got a Dragon Ball flowing there for. Oh, I see the Blades of Chaos right there.
Oh,
What's he do?
nice.
You can see Japanese Spider-Man's robot in the bottom.
Yeah, I see it too. Man, that great. Man, I know they can't pull this off, but people will just lose their minds in a good way.
Yeah.
Eat the mushroom, dude. Eat the mushroom.
And yeah, he's trying to grab onto the beta capsule to turn into Ultraman while wearing the same uniform from the 60s TV show.
Cool.
Wait, is that Frostmourne?
I'm not familiar with that name. Sorry.
Oh, in the middle there's kind of this broadsword with runes all over it, with kind of a bluish aura. It's Arthas Menethil's sword from the Warcraft franchise. Frostmourne when he becomes the Lich King. Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
Would probably make sense because a lot of these seem to be video game weapons.
Yeah, because it looks like I see Frostmourne. Let's see. I definitely see a power-up mushroom from Mario.
Let's see. Oh, the robot with the bow and arrow. That's Raideen from Shogun Warriors. There's a Voltron lion in the background. The female Mazinger Z, Minerva X.
Oh, I see it too. I see it. The black lion. Ah!
There's Ava Unit 1 in the background.
I think I see that. Oh my god. Oh, I feel so sad they can't pull this off.
This would be like the greatest VR game ever if this ever became a thing. Like imagine like a VR world where people just make whatever mods they want, and that's how we get all these licensed characters, like on Steam.
I would play the holy hell out of that.
So let's see. Anything else to discuss, MJ, before we wrap things up?
I think we'll probably just wrap it up because I think we've all said what we needed to
Yeah.
this evening, and like I said, it's kind of looking a bit lackluster with regards to what movies they're doing for the next year. I mean, there's only 4 or 5 that are on our radars for most concern. Like I say, Jurassic World, Avengers, The Incredibles 2, which has to be said, long overdue.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I really need to see Coco when I come back to America for the holidays because it's not going to come out here until March.
Damn.
Yeah.
And the negatives of living in Japan, huh?
Yeah. We always get our movies very, very late here, unless it's a superhero movie. Even then, half the time they come out around the same time as you guys.
Yeah. About wrap it up here. So to the end of another end of year panel for Real Features, also with this being the season finale of Real Features. January kicks off season 10. Although in what main capacity, because of the stance I've taken with regards to what's going on in Hollywood with all the controversies and what have you, the specific details, because like I say, I want to try and keep politics out of these videos because, you know, we're here to entertain and inform and just keep it as that. You know, if you want politics, you know, go to a political video because
Go to C-SPAN.
Yeah.
yeah, that too. But I'm being more and more selective with what I go to watch now because of the stuff that's kind of in Hollywood, and it's why I've actually deleted certain movies off of my library recently. Kaiju knows this in particular because of the stuff that's going on with Kevin Spacey, which I'm thankful to say all of those movies have since sold.
Mhm.
So I don't have those in my collection anymore, so feel a little bit better about that. But yeah, I think people are being somewhat savvier about what movies they will or won't watch because they don't want to support certain people within the industry. Leave it at that. Like I say, ending the season finale with making his. I have to check a second. This is your 4th consecutive appearance, Kaiju.
Damn, has it really been that long?
Yeah, because the first one you came into was the 2013 end of year panel.
Wow. I was only a year into my YouTube career.
To making her first end of year appearance on this panel, the First Lady of Awesome, that is Lydia.
Thank you very much, and hopefully next year's a lot better film-wise anyway.
I'd like to think so. To making her first appearance, the Lena inverse of the group, the adorable yet snarky Winda Rogue, who has been taming Navi throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. 3-month-old kittens can be really ornery,
They can't. Get
and
a
I
bit-
couldn't hit my mute, and I couldn't hit my mutant button in time.
Well, you know what they say with Navi. They can get a bit catty.
No cat puns. We're not going to be doing fish pun 2.0.
Yeah, but
Oh God, no!
we're just trying to make it perfect.
You had to let the cat out of the bag, didn't you?
There's no pussyfooting around this, is there?
Fortunately, yeah.
It's just a hair
I say
raising experience.
which has ended up devolving into a catastrophe.
No, wouldn't that be a catastrophe?
I
Oh,
was trying to
you've
say that,
gotta
but I see
You-
where you're going.
You've got to be kidding me right meow.
It sure is a pause for alarm.
You're welcome, folks. I get to send you off with some cat puns because of an over-opinionated kitten.
Well, let's put it this way. At least it wouldn't be a terrible trio, because if you added her to Garfield and Grumpy Cat,
Oh, dear God, no.
And to making his first appearance at an end of year panel, the cybernetic yet energetic and charismatic Radon.
It's been fun. Hopefully for next year we see some awesome stuff like we have this year, even though half the time it's been abysmal.
Yeah, I think there was only a handful that really stood out this year. Also, just before we go, Marvel Studios Iron Man 4, just give it to us already. You know, you know RDJ wants to do one more. Let him do it. But signing off from Real Features for Season 9, this has been MJ Knight saying good night from the night and season's greetings.
Until next time, everybody, take care.
Fa la 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 la.
Laters.
Yep.